Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good evening. We are gearing up for the VIPGT World Championship Round 2. I am joined by my colleagues here from uh, the Upshift Media Studios here. We've got Salamander and Papa. Papa, we'll start with you. How excited are you for tonight's races?
Super excited. It's Daytona. I mean, there's nothing else. And you know, because I was on vacation last week, I missed most of last week. I'm happy to be here, getting back in the rhythm, and I get to watch Daytona.
And we are happy to have you as well. With Papa, we've also got the one and only Salamander here with us. Sal, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Slow Mo. How you doing?
I am wonderful, just like Papa. Absolutely stoked to see this race in here in round two. Papa kind of talked about us being at Daytona, and we know that after round one, and even the qualifying, that there's not going to be any lack of excitement through the racing here. But before we get into the racing, we want to bring in a special guest here with us tonight. We have one of our team principals in Z28. Z, are you with us, sir?
I am. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic, man. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Yeah.
Obviously, we saw you maybe had a little bit of a rough finish to the first round there, but my
Whatever,
understanding
man.
is you probably didn't get a whole lot of practice on that. So just
Yeah,
ran out of fuel right at the last minute,
I
and
know.
man, that is a tough way to finish a race. But are you all geared up and ready for the Daytona runs tonight?
I am. I mean, this track is. I mean, we're not doing Daytona. Not to interrupt, but I think that's your other division do a Daytona, right? Because we're doing the Gillies, the whatever the other track. But the point is,
Division
like,
one.
yeah, Division One. Yeah. So the one we're doing now, like, I mean, I'm ready. I did a little bit of practice. The first race over at Interlagos, I actually found out the day before that we were doing the race. I didn't practice at all. I didn't even know it was a fuel race. So I went there. I just started driving, and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm a little bit low on fuel." It's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to be saving fuel during the race," and yeah, that's why I ran out because I had no idea that it was a fuel race. So today, I'm more prepared. So I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more fun today.
Sal, let me turn it over to you. What kind of questions do you have for Z tonight?
Well, I mean, barring what happened to you personally in the
Yeah,
first round, I mean, that was heartbreaking. We were watching you doing
I
a
know.
great run in that first round, only to have it wiped away at the end. But how happy are you with the rest of your team's results in round one? Where'd you guys end up placing? Do you think you're kind of living up to expectations, or do you think your team has a little bit more left in them?
I think so. I mean, Aji, I think he ended up in like fourth or fifth, right? So like I made my way. I think I qualified. I don't know. It was bad. It was like eighth or ninth, but I made my way to second. And Aji at least came in at the end, and he was able to like get a decent placing. I think that they're doing well. I think Aji's going to do really well this race. He's got some good pace. I haven't raced in a while, so I love doing this because it's getting me right back into it. So we're going to see. Today's really going to be a good test to kind of see, I think, how the rest of the races are going to go. I actually got a little time to spend with the team last night and got to know them a little bit more familiarity, so this way we could drive together. So honestly, I'm really excited just to see how it goes today.
Awesome, awesome. Papa, you got anything?
I really don't. I mean, I've been a subscriber of Z28 for God, I don't know how long now. So I was just personally super excited last week when I tuned in and saw Z28 there, and it was like, really? Is that really him? So I'm super excited that you're here. It's an honor to have you here, Z.
Yeah.
A great league and a great team, and I can't wait to see what you guys put down tonight.
We'll see. I'm gonna do the best. So we're gonna do the best we can. Getting back into it. And by the way, I love this. I love the setup you guys have going on. It's awesome. It's professional. You've done a great job, and I'm actually happy to be a part of it. I hope you guys keep doing this, and it's been turning out great so far.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much. We appreciate
thank you.
that
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Thank you. Thank you. And Z, obviously, I think you had mentioned to us in the pre-show there that you haven't done as much racing as you'd like to. You're kind of getting back into it. Tell
Yeah.
us about what kind of drew you into the VIP GT World Championship.
So it was actually one of my subs, Alex. So I guess he's the the principal, whatever the name is of this team, and he's always watched me for a long time, and you know, the AOJ, and he said like, hey, you know, you should try this and help get you back into it, and he gave me the idea, and he's known that I've needed something to kind of dedicate myself, because you guys know it is, if you just do the daily races all the time, whatever, it just gets boring. You know, it's hard to get that spark back. So this was just something different to get me involved. I did take a break. I didn't race for like a whole year. It's been a while, and I just got back, and already just this kind of energy is, I think, what I needed to really uplift myself and start racing again. So really, it was the AOJ that got me into it, that introduced me to all of this and showed me your videos and showed this editing and then how you guys are doing the commentary. And I'm like, dude, this is great. So honestly, it's really thanks to him.
Yeah, I mean, league racing is really kind of where it's at. I mean, we're glad that you found this and came in. We're so happy to have you here. You know, a number of us have been doing commentary on a number of different leagues now for a bit, and it's been so much fun. But to get back to Infinite Octane and friends, you know, you mentioned that you guys did some practice. Have you guys been putting in quite a bit of practice over this last week? You know, what do you think your chances are for this round?
So that's a really good question. So like that's what I need to get better at. So I've never been, I mean, even back whenever I've raced consistently, I've never been a person that played a lot. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm usually just the kind of person where I play maybe like a couple hours and like that's it. I don't really grind and do, you know, like 4 or 5 days of practice. So honestly, I just learned this track yesterday. Like I had never even raced this track because I took a break for, you know, like a year, and this track I think came out back in December. So this track that we're doing today, I never raced, and I just learned it yesterday, and I got on pace with Aji, and you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm just excited to see how I did. So we played yesterday for a couple hours and figured out like a strategy. But honestly, for me, it was just one night, and it was last night. So your guess is as good as mine about how I'll perform. But they practice a lot more. They get it down, and honestly, the team knows a lot more than me. Like they're practicing and they do all the hard work. And I just come in and just try to do the best I can.
Yeah, well, this is a tough one to jump in on. Then I mean, we know.
Yeah.
I mean, this one, like you said, hasn't been in the game very long. Very technical track, which you've probably found out. So just trying to keep that momentum around here is going to be difficult. So I wish you luck.
Hey, thanks. Hey, you know what? I got this. All right, positive. And here's the good news, though, is that I actually like the track. Like, me just going on it last night, I was like, man, I kind of like the flow of this. So hopefully that helps. You know, like it's a mental thing too. You got to be comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Z, tell us a little bit about what you think the keys to being successful are going to be tonight without giving away all your secrets.
I would have to say penalties.
Fuel saving?
Because I think penalties, because some of these little sausage curbs, right? These little things, I noticed that if you want to go real fast, you really got to cut. And there's like these techniques where you can make a lot of time up, right, for these straights. And I think, you know, if you abuse them too much, you're either going to get like a penalty, or your car's going to get unstable. You're going to hit the wall and someone's going to pass you. You're going to get damaged because the heavy damage is on. So you just really can't make mistakes. Just like every race, I think just being consistent, not pushing too hard, communicating with your team, I think it's going to go a long way tonight.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, really being careful on those curbs. I mean, Interlagos, we didn't see much for damage at all because there's a lot of runoff, and here it's totally different. So I think you're right on point with, you know, just needing to make sure to not only be fast, but to keep control of your car, you know, as best you can.
Yeah, the understeer is going to be real here. You guys might have some fun with the commentary there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, talking about this track and being difficult and that you don't have a lot of experience at it, but coming up, I mean, we got 5 more rounds of competition. Are there any particular rounds that you or your team is kind of looking forward to, a particular combo that you like that's on the schedule?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even look at the tracks that are actually coming up. Like, I'm one of those guys that like, hey, surprise me, you know, and I'll go and practice. But I like to adapt, you know, like I don't even look far ahead like that. I mean, I'm one of those people that I'm in the moment, right? So I'm thinking about this track, this right now, getting this done, and then I'll focus on the next when the next comes. So I always put like my laser focus on what I'm doing. and the next track, as soon as it comes up, I'm going to focus right on that.
Yeah, Z, and if you get to a point that you do want to look ahead, make sure and stop by the motorsportleagues.com and check out all the details about the league there. They've done such a fantastic job at the website.
Mm.
You can also check out Motorsport Leagues Fantasy. Have you been looking to kind of see who's got you on their fantasy teams at all?
No, I didn't even know that there was This is awesome. You need to tell everybody about this. Like, you're teaching me and anyone else listening. I mean, this is awesome. I didn't even know that you could do this stuff. So wait, tell me a little bit more about what you're saying.
So yeah, there is fantasy leagues that go along with this. Guys have been able to put a roster of 5 drivers together. You get an
Okay.
initial budget of $100 million.
Wow.
And that dollar amount that's assigned to the drivers came from the pre-qualifying. So based on where everybody finished, that's not only set them in their divisions, but also helped rank their driver position with the fantasy league. So there's a bunch of us that have put our teams together and kind of speculated on who we think is going to do the best. You do get an opportunity to swap out a driver once between rounds. So between now and next week, you can swap out one person with a comparable dollar figure. But it is very cool. So if after the race, get a chance, take a look at the Motorsport Leagues fantasy and check out some of the teams in there. You are on quite a few teams. So
Wow.
there are
Okay.
definitely people that are going to be rooting for you for tonight's race.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to try to not let them down. Okay.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, I'm going to do the best I can. I got to get back in the swing of things. I feel like by the next race after, I think there's a break next week. I think someone said that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yep.
Okay, there is. Okay, so this is like my, I guess technically my second race, back racing, but it happens quick. So I don't want to let people down. I'm glad you told me that because that gives me more of a reason to get laser-eyed focus. So I appreciate that. I would definitely check it out, tomorrow. I'm going to look at that. I'm very, very curious. You got my curiosity up.
So
Yeah, Sal, Papa, anything else for Z28 before we let him get back into the driver's seat and prepare for tonight's race?
Well, I kind of want to take the polar opposite of my previous question. I had asked if there are any particular rounds they were looking forward to coming up. Again, looking at the schedule, if there are any particular rounds that you're dreading or that your team has talked about, like look out for this one.
Well, like I said, I didn't see the schedule. If I would have seen it, I'll let you. What is? I mean, if you told me, I should just be looking at it right now, right? But I don't even know the tracks that are coming up.
yeah.
Oh, geez, we got a bunch of. To be honest, I don't have it memorized either. So
Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys as teams had kind of figured that out yet, but no, it sounds like you're just kind of taking it as it goes, which is a good way to do it. You're not getting yourself too anxious or too hyped
100%.
up. So.
Yeah, and I honestly, again, I don't have much myself. I'm just trying not to fanboy here with Z. Watching some of these guys go around the track practicing. I can't wait to see this race get going. Some qualifying, and I'm just ready. Like I said, I missed last week. I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Excited. I'm definitely excited about it. So I guess now I'll head out, then just do maybe a lap or two before the qualifying starts. But like this is honestly, this is awesome. Like I really, really like this. I appreciate you guys like having me come on here and chat. And I'm gonna stick with it, man. You guys are cool. I love what you're doing. This whole thing. I like that you got a fan base watching. I love the idea of the fantasy. I mean, honestly, this is fantastic, and I really appreciate you having me on here to talk.
Yeah, Z, good luck on track tonight. We'll
Great to have
certainly
you here.
be watching from the front row here and rooting you on. Go out there and go get them, buddy.
All right,
Good luck.
guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Okay.
Take it easy.
Thanks, you too. Wow. What a good time to talk to Z. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
he is a guy living directly in the moment. He is only focused on tonight's race, and you got to respect that, right?
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's one thing to get all like hyped up for something, but I know with me, it's a chance to get a little too overhyped and a little too over anxious. So there's certainly something about being in the present and just putting
Mhm.
your best foot forward. So good luck to Z and the team and to all the drivers. I mean, this is bound to be an exciting night. I mean, round one was absolutely off the chain. I don't expect tonight to be any different.
No, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to get ready for qualifying here. So we've got a couple little housekeeping tips for you. Make sure and like and subscribe there. If you are watching on McNaughty's channel, welcome and thank you. Please don't hesitate to stop by the Upshift Media channel. We'd love to get your like and subscribe there as well. Obviously, we are just getting started, so we appreciate all the support that you guys can give us. And tonight for round two, we are making our way to North America. And the theme for tonight's races is going to be Keep in the Slip. Sal, do you want to tell us a little bit about the track our Division Two drivers are up against tonight?
Absolutely, slow-mo. So in Division 2, they're going to be running around one of the newer tracks in the game, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I'm sure I mispronounced that. But they're going to be in 3 of the American cars. Group 4, they got the Corvette, the Viper, or the Mustang. They are running a 10-minute qualifier, and we're doing a little bit of endurance tonight. They've got a 40-minute timed race to complete.
Thank you so much, Sal. Papa, do you want to talk us through the driver lineup?
Absolutely. On the grid for Thursday night's race with Velocity of Hunter, we have Kelso and Dumpty. Then we have for Black Flag Mafia, Florinota and Laser Unicorn 12. For Dented Doors, we have Krulov and Desj. I'm gonna butcher some of these, I think. Right behind them, for Skill Issue Racing Team Skirt, we have Ace GT and Fishtail. Then we have Wheelhouse Racing with Z Eller and Sunny Hayes. Then Los Matadors, Nuke and Chalky. And then Chalky and Z28 and Algie the Squirrel. Looks like they're all with Infinite, Octane, and Friends. So, great lineup. Fast drivers. And I can't wait to see this race get going.
Yeah, it is. It's a stacked grid, and this is Division 2, mind you. So
Right.
we talked about it last week, man. The amount of talent out here that VIP has recruited for this inaugural league is just mind-boggling.
It is.
Yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention on the round screen is that this is a team event at the endurance, so all four drivers on the team are going to have their time added up for one team time for this race. So individual performance not as important. How well the team does as a whole is really what we're looking for out of this round.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we saw some very, very fun team dynamics in round one. Sal, Papa, what are some of the things you think that the teams could really use to their advantage here at this track today?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, try not to get in each other's way, for one.
Right.
I mean, this is a small, twisty track, really trying to just keep the momentum up. Obviously, if your teammate's out in front and he bobbles a little bit, that might be the time to give him that extra push, kind of get people back on track. Or if you're up front and you're just kind of lacking the pace today, maybe giving that spot up and just following your teammates. It's really just making sure to not impede each other to get the best time possible.
Right. And I mean, and that's all going to have to be done, like I said, with the teamwork. You're going to have to be careful because it is heavy damage. You're going to have the penalties to worry about. The track itself is, like we were talking about with Z, it's really technical, and anything can go wrong at any time. If you just have to be consistent and careful.
Yeah, to that point, I think with the damage being heavy, it seems like it might have made some people a little bit shy when it comes to some of the bump drafting that you see in,
Yeah.
light damage type scenarios. So, that could also play a factor. Obviously, the theme is to keep and slip, but, you certainly don't want to wreck or cause damage to your teammate either.
Right. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as Z talked about, with some of these curves being really slippery, I mean, the worst case scenario is you have your teammate or even a non teammate lose it going through one of those chicanes and spin out on the track. It's not quite as tight as the downhill at Mount Panorama, but it's
Mm,
not far off.
right.
Somebody
You're right.
spins out sideways in the middle of the track, you're going to have a limited opportunity to get around. So it's going to be up to the drivers to be, on their toes, make sure that they're paying attention to what's happening ahead, try to make sure to not get in trouble. And if there is trouble, to try to avoid, making it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa, I know you've done at least some endurance racing. You know,
Mhm.
man, I can speak personally, trying to do an hour race. Everything seems to go just fine until you get to that 40, 45 minute mark. What do you have to do as a driver to stay focused once you get, past that time of where you almost lull yourself to sleep in some scenarios?
Right. And then all of a sudden you have to push, like you said, for those last 10, 15 minutes. And that's where people start making mistakes. You just have to keep yourself amped. I know it's hard, especially for old guys, to stay focused for an hour, but um, it's all in the mindset. You've got to know that this being a 40-minute race, the first 30 minutes, it's just making laps. But you got to keep, while you're making those laps, you got to keep yourself in the race to make that run in the final 10 minutes, the final 4 or 5 laps. And it's a mindset. It's a racer's mindset. You got to know what's coming up and you got to keep yourself there.
Well, and as
Uh,
a team, I mean, you really need to know that every driver is different too. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
tricky part.
Yeah.
I've raced in the IRO stuff where we run for an hour and a half, 2 hour long stints, and there's some guys that just want to talk. They just want to conversate with somebody, and that keeps them sharp. And I'm kind of
Mhm.
the opposite. I want people to be quiet. All I want is data, and I want to be able to just turn and burn my laps, and then I can stay focused and do my thing. So it really is driver dependent. And as a team, it's really going to be important for them to recognize who needs what and to be able to focus on that stuff and to be able to kind of stay within your zone in order to keep things going.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny for me being a DJ, it's all about the playlist, you got to set it just right. When you get to
Right.
that end, you really got to have something heavy coming in
Right.
to kind of keep you sharp and keep you on your game. So, wow, three very different perspectives when it comes to how to approach an endurance challenge. And honestly, I think we're going to have 14 different perspectives
Yeah.
in the field tonight. Everybody
Yeah.
does it a little bit different. So really excited to get out on track and watch these guys go through. I think we're just about there, but the guys are just doing their final safety checks and getting ready to get the cars out on track for qualifying. We do have a 10-minute qualifying, and Sal had mentioned for us. So, Sal, Papa, do you have a preference in one of the three cars that the guys have to choose from tonight?
Well, as my own personal favorite, I like to go with the Corvette
Yeah.
all day, every day.
I'm a
With
Viper
that
guy.
being said, the Viper is also really good.
Yeah.
Some of the nicer liveries I've made are on Vipers, so I tend to run it just
Yeah,
because I
they
think
are.
it's the better looking car. But I do like running the Corvette. Generally, if I have a choice, that's what I pick.
And I'm the exact opposite. I prefer the Viper, with the Corvette being my second. The Mustang, when the game first came out, I think the Mustang was a viable car when it came between these three. And, some of the changes PD made in the physics with that Mustang, it hasn't recovered. And many people don't use it. So I'll actually be kind of watching to see who, if anybody, picked the Mustang out of these three cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate that the Mustang is what it is in the game. With the recent additions of some of the more modern race cars, like from IMSA and WEC and stuff like that, I'm really hopeful that they'll bring in
Right?
the newer Dark Horse Mustang and make it
Yeah.
as viable as it is in real life. I mean, I'm not a Ford fan. I mean, no surprise to anybody. I'm much more of a in the Corvette versus Ford wars. I'm a Chevy guy all the way, but I would love to see a Mustang to actually be able to compete and to see some of those battles on screen for sure.
Yeah, if it's me, I think I'm going to have to side with Sal on this. I enjoy driving the Corvette a little bit more than the Viper and the Mustang. Very responsive. It's very predictable for the most part. Unfortunately, I feel like the Viper's predictable when I'm driving it because I'm going to spin it out.
Yeah, the Viper does have some more torque in it. The Group 3 is crazy fast, but they're in Group 4 here at CGV, and the Viper is much more, I don't want to say tame, but easier to drive, and much like the Corvette. The Mustang does have a little bit of tail happiness in it as well, but it doesn't seem to help it like that tail happiness does help out some other cars, which I think is just an unfortunate thing that they've got to deal with. But we are seeing quite a few Chevys, quite a few Dodges out there, so we've got a bit of a mix. Happy to see that.
I love seeing the matching team liveries. That's just cool to see when you see them coming down as teams. Definitely going to make it easier to call this race.
Easier to call the race.
Aspect.
As the drivers, it's easier to know who to work with.
Right.
Just follow the guy who's got the same kind of car you do. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sal, it looks like these guys are just getting ready to get their hot laps going here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They are on a hot lap. Forgive me.
Yep.
Finishing it up. Looks like Laser Unicorn there has a half-second pen behind, so that's going to hurt his first hot lap for sure. But with a 10-minute qualifier, they've certainly got enough time to get a few of them in. But looking at the tire wear, I mean, these tires are already, 20% down? So these racing softs are getting eaten up. We would imagine about halfway through, guys are probably going to start coming in, getting some fresh rubber on with a lighter fuel load, and hopefully we'll see those times continue to drop throughout this qualifying session. Nuke comes across the line first with a 145, but Florinota comes across with a 144.698 to take the top spot. We should see a lot of drivers coming in, a few of them coming into pit already to get off of those tires. Z28, our interview in the pre-race show, comes in with a 144.433 to provisionally take the top spot away from Florinota.
And Sal, you have Z28 on your fantasy team. Am I mistaken there?
I had him in for the first round, and I believe I've still got him in for the second round. Yes, so really looking to see him put together a good performance. We know with him coming in at the last minute, like he described, he came in with a low value on the fantasy team, which seemed like quite the pickup. So hoping he gets a much better finish in this one. He was doing so well in the last one with the unfortunate fuel situation. As he said, he just wasn't prepared for it. It sounds like he's much better prepared for this one. So yeah, hoping he comes out like gangbusters. Seeing as we're on with Chalky the Mage, currently in 4th in the low 145 range in a Viper, Bilstein Viper. Great blue, yellow, and black colors. Coming down that final backstretch where they enter into a tight chicane, very tricky chicane, as they come to the start-finish line. There's a lot of speed you can carry through it, but it's certainly one that can hurt you if you get it wrong. Easy place to spin it out. And it looks like they're going to head into the pits. Probably going to see a lot of drivers heading into the pits as we've hit the halfway point. We have 4.5 minutes left to go in this qualifier. We've got Z Eller continuing to stay out on the track.
He's on mediums, though. He's not on the soft tires.
Interesting.
And his teammate's right behind him, so I wonder if this was a team decision.
Yeah, in the qualifier here, as we said, that the theme to this one is stay in slip. The slipstream is set to strong, so certainly some more slipstream during this round than there was in the last one, and possibly more than what we're going to see in some of the future ones. So that slipstream is going to help out more than normal. These straightaways, other than that backstretch, which is fairly lengthy, most of the rest of them are some short straightaways, but that strong slip really should help them out. Having teammates work together should be a positive.
Right. And here riding with Sonny Hayes, you can see as Z Eller's teammate, he's also on the mediums. So it's definitely something they worked out together. And Laser Unicorn is really all over the bumper, pushing these guys on his softs. Just came out of the pits. I think he's on his hot lap after he's come out. So he's definitely probably being held up quite a bit here.
Yeah, and I think Sonny Hayes recognized that. It looks like they just backed out and let them through. And it looks like now we got a bit of a sandwich. We got Flora Noda also behind them, so they're going teammates. Yeah, they're alternating teammates here. So, who knows if they're actually got two teams working together. Entirely possible. Looks like Florinoda backing off, trying to get a nice flat-out run on this next hot lap, unless, of course, he's just coming in, trying to get out of people's way. Nope, looks like he's going to continue on. Just wanted to get some clean air. Or wanted to get some of that slipstream. IORT Fishtail coming on in. Laser Unicorn also in. Just under 2.5 minutes left in this qualifier. The fastest quali times are 1:44. So depending on how long this pit road takes, the drivers may be able to just barely get around and then get one more hot lap in with the lowest amount of fuel.
If I remember right, it's a pretty quick pit here, especially if you're just getting tires.
Yeah, it looks like they are out already. So with 1:55 left, they should definitely get all the way around and get one more hot lap in there. Ooh, Lumpy Dumpty got a bit slippery there, trying to get through that first chicane. Gathered it up, did not hit a wall, did not go off track, but may have affected some of that lap time. We can see those racing softs already showing a little bit of wear, but the fuel definitely down. About 3/8 of the tank gone already. That should help with some of the cornering through all these chicanes. This track is just full of chicanes. I know
really
that he was starting to get used to it. I haven't gotten used to this track yet, personally. What about you, Slow-Mo?
No, not necessarily used to it. I've done a couple laps here, but nothing in the 144 range. I'll tell you that much.
Lumpy Dumpty only less than a 10th off of his personal best, so got one more sector to go. See if he can improve in this final chicane at all. Going down the backstretch towards the pit lane and the start-finish line. Currently sitting in P10 with a 146.652, 2.2 seconds off of the leader. He enters into that heavy braking zone, in through the chicane, eats up a little bit of those curbs. We had an improvement by Des J just ahead. Lumpty Dumpty, oh, improves by 1.2 seconds. Audrey the Squirrel ahead by about a quarter of a second over their personal best and moves up into second place with a 144.4, not too far behind Z28. Kelso with an improvement as well, the 146.9. Krulov and Ace GT also logging faster times. We go on board with Z28, our current pole sitter. Oh, trying to get out of the way of his teammate. They got through a tight section there. We go with kart DesJ666, currently sitting in 6th place. So many sixes on this driver. Part of Dented Doors, currently sitting 19th in the Drivers' Championship, but first in the Team Championship. Picks up a half-second penalty there, getting into the final sector of this hot lap. This is going to be the last hot lap. And then this qualifier is going to be done. VIP Ace GT, also in the second half of their final hot lap. Ace GT, part of Skill Issue Racing Team, currently sitting 22nd in the Drivers' Championship and 5th in the Team Championship. So you get down to this final hairpin. This final hairpin's a bit tricky. You got to slow it way down. You've got a wide exit, but it's really easy for the back end to come around. Slightly easier in the Group 4 cars. In Group 3s, it is very difficult to get the power down, but keep the car under control. So we go on board with NVR. Krulov, also part of Dented Doors, is 11th in the Drivers' Championship and first, currently running first in the Team Championship. You see Laser Unicorn to come across with a new personal best, along with Sonny Hayes and Z Eller and Kelso.
Everybody dropping good times here at the end.
Krulov with a slightly better time as well. Florinota with the better time. Florinota jumping into first on the final hot lap, a 144.412. The top 3 drivers all in the 144.4s. This is a tight qualifier. Man, Florinota, certainly bringing it in at the very end. It's always exciting to see somebody just sort of jump the field at the end. Z28 led this one for quite a bit in that 144.433. I mean, we're talking about a half a hundredth separating first, second, and squirrel third.
Squirrel.
But Florinota, I believe this is Florinota's first round. He did not participate in round 1, so is sitting 99th in the Drivers' Championship. That's just a filler, but his team is second. Black Flag Mafia, getting tongue-tied.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, right. Currently second in the Team Championship. So Florinota hoping to move them up into first, or at least do his part to help with that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Z28 and Audrey the Squirrel on the same team?
Yes.
Qualified in second and third.
And Kelso, they're in 6th. So, yeah, good showing so far for their team.
Yeah, good way to start this race. It is a 40-minute endurance, so there's a lot that's going to be happening, but, a good start from the beginning. Papa, you want to take us through the qualifying results?
Absolutely. And let me correct what I said. It wasn't Kelso. It's Chalky that was part of the same team as Z28 and Aji Squirrel there. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the full team. What a showing there. But sitting on pole, jumped them all in his Corvette. Sector 7's Florinota. Good time with the 144.412. Coming up P5, we got Laser Unicorn and his vet. Then we have Kelso in P6, Sector 7's Nuke in P7, Des J in rounding out the top 8. Then we got Lumpty Dumpty, who we saw get a little squirrely there towards the end. Might have affected his overall time, but he grabbed his P9. Sonny Hayes, P10, VIP's Ace GT in P11, Z Eller in P12, IORT's Fishtail there in 13th, and rounding out the field will be NVR's own Krulov in his vet.
Yeah, I didn't see any Mustangs on track. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, no Mustangs.
It looks like it's Chevy versus Dodge here for our Division
Yeah.
Two folks here.
All
And
right.
we're going to
So
move
next,
on and check out, yep, our standing screen here. So here is our Division Two Drivers Championship. As you'll see, Kelso in first position, followed by Yannick, Oak, the Los Mentadores, P4, Laser Unicorn for the Black Flag Mafia. P5 is Justin with Velocity of Hunter. P6 is Q with the Los Matadores. P7 is Fishtail with Skill Issue Racing. P8, Suddy Empire with Black Flag Mafia. And then you have Scarlord in P9 with the Skill Issue Racing team. And coming in P10, there is Aji the Squirrel. Sal, I think we've got the team championship information here. Do you want to run us through those?
sure. And in P1, we've got Dented Doors with 63 points, followed by Black Flag Mafia. P3 is Velocity of Hunter. P4, Los Matadores. P5, Skill Issue Racing Team Skirt. P6, Infinite Octane and Friends Do. And then P7, we've got Wheelhouse Racing with 26 points.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Well, the question that I'm really looking forward to finding an answer for is, do we see any of the teams use a power up here, maybe to put somebody up in pole? Some of the other power ups you might not see quite as prevalently during the race, but that one will catch your attention.
Right.
Yeah, we saw that last week. Both Division 1 and Division 2 on Thursday had drivers, jump their way to the front. So interested to see if we'll see that or not. Many of the others are off-track power-ups, so we'll have to. Those we wait till later.
And it looks like we are just about ready to hit the track here. Sal, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you lead the action for us. Let's see what these guys are going to put down here for our first race of two tonight.
Absolutely. So staying on P1 is S7R's Florinota. We've got the three teammates right behind in Z28, Aji the Squirrel, and Chalky. And then Laser Unicorn bookending those top fives. Interesting to see how those end up doing. But as the lights go out and the race is on, S7R's Florinota takes us into T1 as these cars are all running nose to tail on the rolling start this time. They get through this tight section just to begin with, seeing if everybody keeps it all together. One of the drivers went off. I think that was Chalky, who got a bit loose going through that first chicane, dropped back at least one spot. Yep, looks like he only lost one spot there, but now is in the clutches of Kelso right behind. I'll be honest, I was surprised Kelso qualified way back in sixth. We're going to see if he can work his way up through the rest of this race. Chalky the Unicorn starting on racing hard tires, as Kelso goes for the inside move here, getting through this next section. The left-hander turns into the right-hander, so the outside leads to the inside. Kelso still side by side, just has a nose slightly ahead of Chalky as they head down this backstretch into the next chicane. Looks like Kelso was able to clear him before they got in, but his teammate now goes side by side with Nuke going into that next chicane. Going side by side in those chicanes can be so tricky, but it looks like they all survived it. Nobody spun out, but
Lumpy came in hot.
Lumpy did come in hot, and it looks like they're still battling out. Oh, Nuke going for the dive, gets it in there, gets into the side of, I think it was Chalky just ahead. They all back up behind there. Oh, let's see if there's any damage that was occurred. We saw a couple of cars go into the wall. A little bit of argy-bargy there. Doesn't look like there was enough to cause any damage, thankfully, but the drivers have all kind of taken notice. A little bit of aggressiveness here early on in this 40-minute endurance race. A lot of side-by-side action. We saw at Interlagos last week, a lot of side-by-side, even in those sections where you wouldn't typically have it, but everybody kept it pretty civil. This one looks like there's a little bit of touchy-touchy going on, but so far, nobody has really lost out. Chalky trying to make up some time after this initial. As we go back to the beginning here, it looks like we're going to get a replay of where he went wide through this first couple corners here. We can see as he gets into the right-hander. Oh, he got hit from behind. That's what it was. There was a touch from Laser Unicorn that sent him wide. Laser Unicorn stays up front. That allowed Kelso to get alongside and start challenging him, but Chalky, luckily no damage there. Right, if we look at this one more time, we are on board with Kelso. So Kelso here, we see Laser Unicorn, yep, got into the back, ends up getting ahead of Chalky. Although it looks like Chalky was able to start getting back ahead of him. But Kelso currently running in P5 was able to benefit a bit from the contact that happened up front. But Florinota has picked up a half-second pen. Ooh, a little bit of bumping, probably a little bit of netco there. Looks like Laser Unicorn seems to be bumping around a little bit. But Florinota also has damage, both front bumper and front right tire damage. So Florinota is going to have to decide if he comes into the pits soon to get rid of that, or if he's just going to ride it out. He's also going to be serving a half-second penalty, lets his compatriot get around in Laser Unicorn. Here they go into the final chicane. Florinota looks like he's going to ride it out and try to keep going. Kelso in hot pursuit right behind him. And again, with slipstream being set to strong, that front end damage is probably going to impact Florinota even more so than what we've seen in some of these other races, as Kelso gets the pass done going into turn one, was able to use that slingshot to get around. I don't know if are we able to get a replay of that one? Let's see if we got here as Kelso gets the dive in there. It looks like it had just finished by the time we got to the replay, but clean pass, got it done. Currently now sitting up in P4. Oh, and Florinota's picked up another 1 second penalty. Looks like the technical aspects of this track starting to get to him. Needs to try to settle it down. Let's see, getting through this left and right-hander. Don't quite see where the penalty came from, but it was assessed as they are going through the S's there.
And Sal, you mentioned that front right damage. I mean, that is a big impact on him navigating some of these chicanes so far.
Yeah, and it looks like the drivers have kind of separated into two groups thus far. I see Lumpty Dumpty here on the Racing Hards. I'm anxious or curious to know if the second set of drivers are all on the Racing Hard tires, while the drivers all up front are on the Racing Mediums, possibly, and that's why they're kind of breaking away. But Art Desjay 666 here with the half-second penalty, about to serve that, is likely to lose at least one spot, maybe more, in the penalty area. Ends up slotting in behind Lumpty Dumpty. Takes it through the chicane to the start-finish line to wrap up lap 3 of this 40-minute race. 34.5 minutes left to go. Here we've got them side by side, Desjay and Lumpty Dumpty going into the first corner. Desjay on the outside, which becomes the inside as they go through the hairpin. But Lumpty Dumpty gets a great exit, a little bit of sliding there, which may affect his speed. Cart Desjay not able to capitalize on that. Does slot in behind in order to get through the next chicane, which is probably a smart move. Z Eller has now caught up and is harassing both these drivers. Now Desjay getting another good drive through the S's and cleanly gets around Lumpty Dumpty, heading into the next set of chicanes here. Lumpty Dumpty fighting right back. It's a great exit out of that last chicane. Now moves ahead of Desjay, and that's going to let Z Eller follow him on through. A lot of passing here. Z Eller even going to try to get up alongside of Lumpty Dumpty. Lumpty Dumpty able to hold on to it as they get through it. Touches the wall just briefly. It looks like he's really wrestling with that car and picks up a half-second penalty, trying to stay in the lead of this little 3-car pack. This battle is not ending anytime soon. Lumpty Dumpty has the preferred line on the inside. Yeah, Papa, what do you see?
The Racing Mediums. I think that's what's allowing him to get these runs on these 2 cars in front of him. But trying to be careful, they just keep getting him back. But he's definitely got the better tire, but they're wearing quick.
As we check up near the front, Laser Unicorn here on the Racing Hard. So my theory of them being separated by tire type seems to have been blown away. Laser Unicorn holding on to the third of the podium positions while on the Racing Hard tires. following Aji the Squirrel and Z28 Gaming. Both teammates up in 1-2. Seeing a little bit of ping pong action there, a little bit of hits to the bumpers, no damage, it looks like, from Laser Unicorn or Kelso, who's still sitting in P4. These top four moving along. Kelso also on the racing hard tire and keeping up with the top four drivers. Here they are.
Yes, Al, you'll see the Infinite Pain and Friends there taking P1 and 2. You have to imagine that Algae's going to do everything he can to keep the heat off of Z28 and try and keep those folks behind him.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And there we've got the picture-in-picture with Aji the Squirrel as well, so we can see things from his point of view. Kelso trying to go up the inside line as they get into the chicane, not quite able to make it work. Oh, but that Laser Unicorn with that half-second pen is likely going to have to give that up as they get. Now, Kelso could be a little patient here, but no, he gets his nose up on the inside, wants that spot before. Oh, and a lot of contact. Laser Unicorn goes around. Oh, I'm unsure if Laser Unicorn lost the rear end before or if Kelso caused that to happen.
I think he lost it as he hit the curb.
I think he might have. I think he might have already lost the rear end and ended up spinning it in front of Kelso. But let's see with the replay here as he comes around. Oh, the cars are very close. It's hard to know with the net code that's going on. The cars are bouncing around a little bit. You know, it's hard to tell if the game thought that there was contact there or not. But either way, Laser Unicorn has fallen back to 7th place. Him and Chalky now have both served their penalties. And now they still have those other three drivers behind with Lumpy Dumpty, Z Eller, and Des J all close behind. Lumpy Dumpty and Z Eller still having this battle. Z Eller trying to get around with the superior tire here, but Lumpy making it incredibly hard. Lumpy Dumpty's got the preferred line here and is able to hold on to it. Oh, and I'm hearing from production that we may have a black flag out for
Laser.
Oh, for Laser Unicorn for the netcode issue. So, oh, that's unfortunate. We did see a bit of that last week, and they have new protocols in place if there's some netcode going on. So that may be what's going on there, but we'll wait and see how that. Yep, and we see Laser has left the lobby. So unfortunate for Laser. Hopefully they can get the internet issues worked out for future events. But here, as we still stay on board, we're seeing 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all still battling it out. IORT Fishtail, part of Skill Issue Racing Team, 7th in the driver standings, 5th in the team standings, just ahead of Nuke and Krulov. Man, this is such a tight field back here. He's got 3 cars ahead of him, 3 cars behind him. IORT making up a 7-car sandwich as they are on the final backstretch. Again, with Slipstream set to strong, which is, I believe, the strongest setting in the game, we are seeing a lot more side-by-side action, especially on this tight, twisty track. Looks like Nuke was able to get the pass done on IORT Fishtail. Z Eller does get around Des J, hoping to work their way up further.
And Sal, we're about a quarter away in here, you know, just hitting that 11-minute mark. And, you know, I think you touched on it, but man, these guys are racing so much harder than I expected in the initial few laps here. I mean, I kind of figured there would be some calmness, but that is absolutely not what they're doing. They are jockeying for every single second that they can get out here.
Oh, look at this. We have Kelso has made his way up into P2. Got around Aji the Squirrel while we were watching some of that stuff back then, and is all over the back of Z28 Gaming. So he has separated the teammates, and we've seen Kelso be a bit aggressive in this one already. We'll see if he's able to get the pass done on Z28, or if he decides to just kind of slot in and let them pull him along. As they got through the S's, heading to this tight hairpin up here. This is a spot where we've seen him make a move a couple of times already. It looks like he's going to stay behind Z28 as they get through here, trying to get on the power as early as possible, but not spin it on out. And all of them get out of it okay. Kelso's going to have the slipstream here. May have been playing it patient just to see if he can get the pass done on the long straight. Z28 trying to break the toe. Kelso going to make the move and get around. Looks like he's going to have time. Yep, he has cleared him, and they are now into the braking zone. Kelso up into first place after starting in 6th after only 7 laps. Z28 and Audrey the Squirrel teammates still sitting in P2 and P3, which are not bad. His teammate Lumpty Dumpty has fallen back to 7th after some early issues. I'm sorry, Chalky the Mage is the teammate and is right ahead of Lumpty Dumpty, trying to work his way up to his other teammates as they get through the first corner and into this second corner hairpin. And man, just a hornet's nest behind with Z Eller, Des J, Nuke, and others, all fighting heavy for position. You know, slow-mo, as you talked about with these guys, you know, really battling a lot harder than you would expect in a longer endurance race. I mean, I'm sure having the slipstream set to the strong setting is certainly leading to a lot of that. These cars are getting a lot more runs than they would have otherwise been able to do, and it's certainly creating a lot of exciting action out on the track early on in this race.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You know, I think the other thing that is going to play a huge factor here, as you see those racing mediums look pretty rough, is that 12 times tire rate that these guys have to battle with. You know, over a 40-minute race, they're going to have to definitely make at least a stop. You saw a lot of guys start on the hard, a lot of guys start on the mediums. So you almost have to imagine that they're going to stay on the harder compound.
Yeah, that's a good point. And as we recall, there are no tire requirements in this race. As we go on board and we watch on the replay here, I believe this is Lumpty Dumpty, gets into the chicane, and I believe either outbrakes himself. Let's see, a little bit of a bump that sent him into and missed the apex there. Just a slight touch. I don't think he got a penalty for it, though. If you lift off while you're doing that, you can avoid a penalty, and it looks like he did. So that nudge from Chalky the Mage actually helped Lumpty in a way, and that he was able to round off that corner a bit. And we do see a couple of drivers that have come into the pits, early pitters off of these medium tires. Now, we do know that the medium tires and the hard tires, that typically as you go down or up in the different tire types, you either double or half the amount of laps that you can get as a general rule of thumb. So if these guys are getting 15 minutes worth of time out of the mediums, you would think they're going to get about 30 minutes of time out of the hards. Again, as I was trying to say before, there are no tire requirements, so nothing says they have to use both compounds. But the way these guys are pitting, it looks like that could possibly be the strategy. We'll have to see if that's what the rest of these guys end up doing. Lumpty Dumpty now up into P5 with some racing hards. Although his racing hards are looking pretty worn for only 16 minutes. We saw a number of guys on mediums with about the same kind of tire wear.
From what I can figure on the strats, though, it looks like if you're going on racing hards, you're only planning on doing a one stop. If you go with the racing mediums, I'm thinking people are thinking two stop, medium softs maybe to round out that final stint.
Yeah, I mean, it might depend on just how well the drivers are able to manage their tire wear.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were just watching Lumpty there on racing hards after not even 9 laps, and those things are eaten up. A set of softs are only going to last you, what, 2 or 3 laps, I guess. But here we are, we're watching Nuke and Des J go side by side into the final chicane. Des J on the outside was able to hold the speed and able to keep it in the leads, or not in the lead, but staying in P7. Nuke falling a little bit back to P8. I think he might have backed out at the last second there, realizing that going too wide was not going to work, and lost quite a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
Here back in 9th, 10th, and 11th, it was a close battle between 3 Corvettes. 2 versus 1 on the teammate front. As IORT Fishtail gets around Brulab. Looks like was able to get a clean pass done there.
It does look like these vets are struggling a little bit versus these Vipers overall.
Yeah, but
Sal Krylov, I know Krylov started in P14, so he's definitely done a good job moving up the field. We obviously saw a couple of guys dip into the pits, swap off those mediums. You know, he's on the hard. You know, if they can run, you know, what do? Do they do 20 minutes, take a pit, and then run another set of hards, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. If you just want to do the one stop.
Yeah, some of these guys up front. I mean, Aji the Squirrel here, we see running the hards. We're at the 17.5-minute mark. I mean, those tires are looking rough, but another 2.5 minutes. That's another. Basically, he's got 2 more laps to go to get that halfway point. The fuel is still got well over a quarter tank left, so it's entirely possible that we'll not have to fill up all the way as he saves a little bit of squirreliness from Aji the Squirrel. Coming out of that chicane, but keeps it all together.
I bet they pit at the end of this lap.
Yeah, it's possible they might be able to get 1 extra lap with the lighter fuel load.
Right.
Might be what their strat is. That's a good call, Papa.
And I'm curious on Sonny Hayes and Z Eller, when they pitted, what tires they came back out on. I know they were
the first ones that we saw pit.
I bet they went back to mediums and are going to run the final stint on softs.
That's an aggressive choice.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
Though.
Let's see. Z Eller came out. You're right, on the mediums.
And we already know those tires aren't going to last but the 25 minutes, so they're going to have to pit again for another stint. And I bet they come out on the softs.
It looks like Sonny Hayes
with no tire fuel or no filling of the fuel. Sorry.
Right. Lumpty Dumpty coming out on the hards. So currently sitting in P13, has some time to make up, but is again one of the early pitters. It seems like the drivers at the front have both the pace and seem to be managing the tires the best. Kelso here has stretched out to a 4.9 second lead while on the racing hards. I mean, again, those tires are not looking good, and it looks like he's going to go around at least one more time on those hard tires. If he can get past the 20-minute mark, we know another set of hards is going to make it. But the teammates in Z28 Gaming and Aji the Squirrel both come in, and look at the fuel. Aji the Squirrel, much better at the fuel saving than Z28, has 9% more fuel. Z28 has definitely burned the most. Oh, and Cart SJ666 down to 6% fuel. So pretty big difference in fuel consumption. But the tire wear seems to be fairly universal. S7R's Nuke here also trying to get past, or is already past, the 20-minute mark on those racing hard tires. Going to try to get one more lap out of them, presumably before coming into the pits. And that allows Florinota to temporarily move up into P2. Florinota had that issue early on where he took some serious damage, and I presume must have pit relatively early in order to clean that up and then also get some fresh tires on, but is now trailing behind Kelso. Z Eller back out on the racing mediums, just a little over half a tank of fuel. I don't think that's going to make it to the end, but comes out just ahead of Chalky the Mage. So checking
now
with
we're just
Kelso.
crossing that halfway point, as you see some of these guys are really stretching that hard tire out. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they go in and try and push the hards to grab a set of medium afterwards.
Very possible.
Yeah, with Kelso, it looks like his fuel is blinking. But Kelso going around again.
I think you're right, Slow-Mo. I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Florinota still has the damage. So Florinota was up in second place because he had not pitted yet. So stayed out extra long, even with the damage, but now comes in to finally, hopefully, heal that up and to put some fresh tires on. Sector 7 Nuke going around again. You can see Nuke has much more fuel compared to what Kelso had. Kelso was in the red and was blinking on the fuel when he got around to the start-finish line, but Nuke still in the white there. Watch a replay here with VIP Ace GT. Looks like he is coming down to enter the pits. And gets into the barrier. Getting into that pit lane, you can carry a lot of speed in there, but if those front tires wash out on you, That would have incurred some damage, which unfortunately is going to give him a longer pit stop than what he was anticipating upon entry.
And probably a 3-second pin too.
Well, that's a matter of whether he
Possibly.
crossed the line or not.
Yeah.
I don't know that he crossed the line, but he definitely hit the barrier.
He came in hot.
Here we go, Florinota coming back out now with the damage resolved, and on the racing medium tires, he's looking to challenge for P7 and P6. So we check in with Aji the Squirrel there, who I believe is up in P4, is it?
Yes.
Just following along, trying to get back onto that podium. Now, Florinota, I had my Joker series last week, and Florinota was really impressive on his tire wear. Really was able to stretch out the tires while putting down some good pace. If he was on the hards the first time around, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to make these mediums last for this 17-minute stint. They'll be really anxious to see if he can get rid of one of the pit stops but still be on a superior tire, as he was trying to challenge Chalky the Mage for that position but wasn't quite able to make that happen. But Sector 7's Nuke and Kelso both into the pits to finally get off of those hard tires and to add some fuel to their vehicle.
I bet they do exactly what you were just saying about Florinota. I bet those two come out on the racing mediums to have that superior tire, and it was probably going to be worth the stretching of those hards. Maybe lost a little time for a couple laps, but I think overall that's probably going to be a great call, strategy-wise.
We'll have to see how that works. We have seen that the pit lane is relatively quick here. So we see Kelso coming out in P3 on the racing hards again.
On the hards, yeah.
So he is running the hards. Z28 Gaming also on the hards. And is 2 seconds back from Kelso.
And you see Aji the Squirrel, who was running third before all those pit cycles, is now ahead of these two. Sonny Hayes was one of our early pits with Z. Eller, and he's currently got the lead, but I'm betting him and Sonny and Z. Eller are both going to have to pit as early as they did pit.
I think you're right. Z. Eller here in P5 trying to hold off two cars behind, Chalky in the Viper, Florinota in the Corvette. So they go side by side into the chicane, a little bit of contact, but everybody keeps it on the track. It's like no penalties there, but that definitely slowed them down, allowing Florinota to stay, synced right on up with them. I know Florinota is probably looking to probably trying to remain patient, waiting for this backstretch, trying to see if they can get it. Oh, and as Chalky the Mage trying to get the cutback, getting out of the corner, but Z. Eller was able to accelerate out by using up more of the track and keep that lead. And now that slipstream is going to come into effect. We're going to see if Florinota can try to slingshot past two of them. He's trying to go for the pass now. Florinota has gotten ahead of Chalky the Mage. Looks like they're going to be, nope. Chalky is going to relinquish the spot, allow Florinota to get into P6, and is right up on the bumper of Z. Eller, going to go for the pass heading into turn one. Again, on those racing mediums, really trying to make them work. They go side by side into turn one, eats up that apex as much as possible, but gets the pass done. Z. Eller, a little bit of bump on the behind. Oh, and Chalky the Page taking advantage of the fact that Z. Eller washed out a little bit, allowing Chalky to get that pass done coming out of the initial hairpin. But Florinota up into P5. So as we check in with Sonny Hayes here, still running on those racing mediums. They are not looking good, but he is currently leading the race. Looks like Sonny Hayes, 99th in the Drivers' Championship, means he did not participate in round one. But their team currently 7th in the points, as he's got Aji the Squirrel right on his bumper, less than 6/10 behind. And with those racing mediums as worn as they are, they're probably starting to suffer more so than a fresh set of hards.
Yeah. I think if I'm Sonny Hayes, I pit here, put another set of mediums on. Softs won't make it for another 13 minutes, so I'm thinking I pit here.
Well, let's see
That's
what he
just me.
does.
Obviously I'm not these guys, but I don't know if I'd have tried going another lap on those mediums.
Yep, trying to go around. He may be trying to just burn enough time in order to make those softs last.
Maybe.
But how much time are you going to lose
Right.
on those
right.
worn mediums just to get the softs on for a few laps? I mean, again, we're looking at less than 2 minutes a lap. If you only get like 3 laps on the softs, that's only 5 minutes of time. I mean, he would have to run around for quite a bit to get down to that 5-minute mark. I mean,
Right.
yeah, he's going to have to come back out on mediums again.
I would think so. I'd like I said, I'd have probably made the pit on that lap, into that last lap.
At the same time, he's sitting in P1. You know, it's one of those where if you're leading the race, he's in control. It's hard to come into the pits and give up that spot when you know you're in the catbird seat.
Right.
So we check in with Kelso here, back in P3, 4.1 seconds off the leader. But still, his racing cards are looking mighty fresh.
Yep. Aji's been able to extend his lead over Kelso, who has also extended his lead over Z28. So,
and this is part of that keep in slip. You know, Sonny Hayes and Aji are not teammates, but they are, you know, offering each other some slipstream here. If Aji continues to work with Sonny to try to keep Kelso back. I mean, Kelso won the last race, and they're probably well aware that they have the previous round's winner right behind them.
right.
They may become frenemies temporarily in order to try to keep Kelso at bay, but Kelso is continuing to reel them in, albeit slowly.
Yeah, I mean, just in the last, 4 or 5 turns, Kelso's gained a half second on both of them. As you see, Sonny Hayes
Sonny in the pits.
Yep.
Yep, so now Aji's all alone, and it's all going to be a matter of pace as to whether or not he can stay ahead of Kelso. 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in this race here, so we're almost down to the quarter mark. Checking with Chalky the Mage, teammates with Z28 and Aji the Squirrel. Looks like they are the 1, 3, and 5 in the current running, with Kelso making up P2 and Florinota up in P4. Again, shout out to Florinota for taking that damage early on, and was able to, and I mean, he made the tough call of staying out there with that damage. In fact, staying out long and then coming out on the mediums to try to finish this race off. 10 minutes left to go. Chalky the Mage just 4.4 seconds back from Florinota, 16.5 seconds off of the overall lead. As we start to see the track get a little darker.
Just noticing that myself.
Get into the nighttime.
Headlights are coming on.
Kelso's just getting into that slipstream range with Aji the Squirrel. We know it's somewhere between that 1 to 1.3 second range. And there he is, 1.1 seconds off, and you can see that gap closing, albeit slowly. But it may only be a couple more laps before he gets caught up and is right on the bumper of Aji the Squirrel. And then Aji the Squirrel, we're going to see just how good his defensive driving is. Well, Kelso got a good run through that last chicane, but so did Aji the Squirrel. Keeps that gap at 1.1 seconds. And Kelso really has been able to extend that lead over Z28 Gaming. 7.7 seconds. You can see Z28 back there just about to enter into turn 1. Doesn't seem to have any cars right behind him either, so he seems to be kind of on an island just trying to run his race and finish on the podium position in this one. As they get through these tight S's here, Kelso still hunting him down, has now gotten the gap to about a half second.
Kelso closed good through these turns.
Yep. Oh, saw Aji with a little wiggle there.
Right.
As Kelso continues to close in a short straightaway as they lead into one of these chicanes, but we've seen Kelso go ahead and make the move, chicane or no chicane. He's going to stay tucked in behind Aji the Squirrel for this one. He could remain patient here. He's got a hairpin coming up along with a long straight. Should be a gimme pass with this strong slipstream. Aji going very defensive into the hairpin. It's all going to be about the exit speed here. Aji goes a little deep. Kelso gets into the back, trying to get the cutback done. He's going to want to try to get that slipstream, and sure enough, he tucks in behind to try to get some of that overspeed. Has just a little bit of overlap, but wasn't quite able to use the slipstream enough to get that slingshot done. They're going to be going too wide unless somebody relinquishes it. Aji backs off, gives it to Kelso. Kelso goes a little deep on the first turn. I think there was a little contact there.
I think so.
Kelso ended up in P1. Yeah, Aji
damage.
has some front end damage. We're going to get another shot at this from Aji's point of view. You can see he's on the right-hand side here as we get into the chicane. Kelso goes a bit deep on the first turn, but I think he tries to cut it back. And Aji just gets a little loose. Oh, and then Kelso, I think, also got a bit of a bounce on that second set of curbing. And just the slightest of touches got into Aji the squirrel, but with these, there's so little room for error that tiny tap got him into the wall, and now he's going to have damage that he has to deal with for the rest of this race. There's only 6.5 minutes to go, thankfully.
And you could tell they were both trying to give the room. It's just those curbs, those sausages, man, they're so brutal. I think it's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, it did look like they were giving each other enough room, and it was only that bounce coming off of the curb that really got into them. Unfortunate situation. The stewards may have another look at it. They may not. It may have just been a racing incident. We're watching another replay. So we're following behind Sonny Hayes here, coming out, and a bit of power oversteer coming out, and into the wall. A little bit of front end damage. That was on VIP Ace GT. Not the thing you want at the end of the race. Currently running back in P12. Got passed there by Krulov, who made it hard to P11.
Putting some pressure on Z now.
Yeah, look at those tires. I mean, those racing mediums are starting to get down there. He's still got 5 more minutes left to go on those mediums.
3 laps.
Maybe a third, but Z28 on the racing hards doesn't have a lot more, but you would think that they are going to last a bit longer.
I think so.
But honestly, both of them are going to be quite a bit of an impact to their performance as we get down the last couple of minutes of this race.
It almost looks like Z28 might have overfilled during his pit stop. He's got quite a bit of fuel left.
Yeah, that's a good point. We saw when Kelso came in, or when he passed at about the 20-minute mark, and his fuel was blinking. So they have 24 minutes of fuel on a full tank.
Yeah.
And Z28 still has, 3/8 of a tank there. So yes, may have overfueled on this one, but as we saw in the last race where he ran out of fuel, he maybe wanted to be extra sure that didn't happen again. And hey, he's still on the podium right now, fighting to keep P3. Aji the Squirrel still with a 6.4 second gap on his teammate. He's running with that damage. He hasn't lost a lot of time to Kelso.
He hasn't. He really hasn't.
He's actually stayed with him. That extra slipstream on these straightaways is helping him keep with it. But there we see Z28 and Florinota. Florinota really starting to close that gap. It's now within a second. Z28 is going to be a sitting duck on this long straight. But Chalky the Mage, their teammate, still in P5.
Nice.
Their team doing well in this race. Lumpy Dumpy back in P7.
Chalky got started P6, I think, but got a little loose on that first hairpin, turn 2 there at the very beginning of the race. He's been fighting back, regaining some of those early spots he lost, so well done there.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think if Z28 can hold off about another half a lap, I think he'll be able to hold off Florinota here. Because Florinota's tires are just about gone. The things are going to start getting really squirrely on him.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the front tire, so he's going to end up sliding through some of these corners. I mean, the rear tires are starting to wear as well. I don't know about you personally. I'd rather have the front tires go out than the back. Because if the back tires go out and you spin around, that's a lot worse than just kind of going deep into a corner.
Right.
But with that being said, he's still sticking up with Z28 here. He's not losing time. again, that strong slipstream.
But we all know Florinota is an incredible driver, so.
Yep, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They're going to have probably 2 laps to go.
Yep.
I think he can make the tires last, but they're going to be down to about a pixel remaining when we get to the end here.
He's got to try and get by Z on this backstretch and then go defensive himself.
Yep, Z went defensive there. Florinota goes deep. Z28 able to get out of it. But Florinota's going to have the slipstream. It's all going to be down to really who's in the lead. As these tires tend to wear down, it's much easier to drive defensive than it is to get a pass done.
Right.
With a little over 2 minutes to go, Florinota's trying to keep Z28 pinched to the inside. Keep him pinned down there. Florinota finally does stretch out to the outside, does get the pass done. Oh, big slide coming out. That's going to give Z28 the option of possibly coming back, but he's not closing fast enough, I think, to get the pass into turn 1. He's right there. Florinota going just a little defensive. I'm going to be able to hold on to it. Oh, I didn't see what the time was as they started the cross finish.
It was 144.
144. So they are likely to then, this is likely their last lap.
Yeah.
P1 and P2 are going to get one more lap, but the time is going to expire just as P3 and P4 get to the line. They've been running 145s. If they get into a battle here that's going to slow them down even more, Florinota trying to drive as defensive as he can and hold Z28 at bay.
I would not want to be Florinota right here.
I was thinking
again,
the same thing.
You've got that long backstretch leading to the start-finish line. Whoever's the second place car is going to have the advantage. But then you still have to make it through the final chicane.
Right.
And here they go. They're getting up to that final hairpin and onto the backstretch.
And you know what?
Z28 making the dive.
What a dive.
I think Florinota may have braked a little early. May have done that on purpose and has now got the slipstream on the backstretch. Let's see if he's able to get the slingshot done. You can see the time coming down. Z28 is bound to take a very defensive line here.
Oh, yeah.
Florinota trying to get up side by side. I don't know if he's got have enough time to get this done. Tries to go to the inside, checks up back to the outside. Z28 gonna, oh, no. Did he cut the corner?
I think that's gonna be a pin.
Let's see if the pin shows up. It looks like he got away with it.
Wow.
That got away with it. Z28 finishing in P3, Florinota.
What a finish from those two drivers right there. Chalky and Nuke.
P5 and P6. Oh, Chalky and Nuke. Also coming to the line, Lumpty Dumpty. Oh, and Fishtail spins out in the final corner.
No.
I think he dropped 2 spots. I think he was in P8.
He did.
I think he was.
P8, SJ gonna finish. Sonny Hayes in P9. IORT Fishtail gonna finish in P10. Oh, what a heartbreaker at the end. P11 Krulov. We're gonna watch
many
it here.
drivers pushing this fuel loads too.
Oh, J was in P8. Oh, gets the slingshot, trying to get in late on the brakes, getting into the chicane, and then trying to come out of it. Gets a little bit into J, but then, power oversteer coming out of there, and Fishtail. He was trying to get from 9th up to 8th.
These are leaders coming down.
10. Then, yep, Kelso and Aji the Squirrel are our last 2 cars out on track, taking their victory lap. Kelso 7.8 seconds up on Aji. But how about that? Aji the Squirrel and Z28 finishing 2nd and 3rd as teammates. Chalky the Mage in P5. Great finish for the IORT and Friends do. But Kelso with a 2nd win in a row after starting P6.
Well done.
Well done to Kelso, running the one-stop strat, hards the whole way. With Aji the Squirrel bringing it home in P2 with some damage, but well done.
Yeah, well done. What a race. What a finish. Whew, that was exciting.
3 good battles to the line there at the end.
Well done.
Congratulations to Kelso. Raised 5 positions to take home 2nd win of the season at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
That's how you want to start your league racing. Knock off 2 wins right off the bat. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
absolutely. I mean, Kelso's been bringing the heat so far.
Yeah.
Kind of been the driver to beat, and on my fantasy team. So thank you, Kelso. Along with
Right?
Z28, who finished in
Nice.
P3.
P3.
Oh,
Yeah.
P3.
Yeah.
There we go.
P3.
Actually, Slow Mo, how about you take us through the finishing results?
Yeah, happy to. So as Sal mentioned there, you've got Kelso coming in with that P1 position. Algie the Squirrel taking P2. You've got Z20 coming in there in P3. S7R's Florinota in P4. Chalky the Mage in P5. S7R's Nuke in P6. Lumpty Dumpty in P7. Cart Des J666 taking that P8 position. Sonny Hayes finishing in that P9 position, taking that opportunity from IORT Fishtail, who had that unfortunate little spin there right at the end. NVR's Crew Love finishing in P11. You've got P12 with VIP Ace GT. 13 with Z Eller, as we saw with the Black Flag. Unfortunately, Laser Unicorn finishing in 14th.
And IORT Fishtail started in P13, so still 3 spots up from his starting position to finish in P10, even with that unfortunate incident at the end. So
Right.
seemed to pay off, tried to get one more spot, ended up losing a spot, but still good job getting his way up into the top 10. But man, if that's how this league is going to continue to go, this is some
Right.
exciting stuff. I mean, we
Yeah.
saw battles all throughout the whole race and battles all the way to the end, a number of different strats. We saw people on mediums, we saw
Yeah.
people doing the double hards.
Right.
Uh, Man,
We even
it makes
saw
it
one team
easy to
do the
call the
2-stop.
race.
Yeah. We saw Z Eller and Sonny Hayes do the 2-stop, and it just didn't seem to work out for him this time. But it was definitely an option. It was definitely worth a shot. I mean, they weren't that far out, so it was. What a race! What a race!
Right. I mean, the results at the end showed that a number of cars were a lap down, but that's only because the top 2 cars crossed the start finish line
Right.
just as the time was expiring. So, in all reality, all the cars finished on the lead lap, which with a 14 car field over a 40-minute race is impressive in and of itself. Like all
Yeah.
these guys kept this, plenty entertaining and plenty tight. A lot more door banging in this one, a lot more contact, but we didn't see a lot
Mhm.
of super aggressive moves. I mean, certainly some too wide going into some chicanes, but they all seem to sort it out. So,
Right.
all in all, it was exciting race to watch. I'm really hoping Division One here that we got coming up in 12 minutes will likely be just as exciting. So,
Oh
certainly
yeah.
stick around for that. Um, a couple of housekeeping items. Make sure as you're watching this to please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on the McNaughty Gaming channel, thank you for being there. Like and subscribe, but also click the link that's pinned in the chat. That'll take you to the Upshift Media Studios channel. That's where we are going to be broadcasting these league races along with future league races. Will be over there. So make sure to jump over there and like and subscribe as well. And then you'll also see down in the lower left, we've got a rotating ticker down there. Occasionally you'll see a QR code pop up. That is our donation link. If you want to support what we're doing here at Upshift Media Studios, trying to bring you this you know, commentary broadcast production for the VIP league and for future leagues. If you're willing to leave a donation or a tip for us, we would greatly appreciate that.
Greatly appreciated, you guys.
But really, I mean, these races have been absolutely nuts. I mean, Slow Mo, what's your synopsis on this one?
I mean, I'm sitting down right now, but I had to sit back down before the camera got to me. I mean, that was a very good race. So much fun to watch these guys just challenge each other in ways that, they push the limits of the track, they push the limits of the car. Yes, there was a little bit of trade and paint. I don't think it was anything too egregious. I think that was all honest racing incidents, if anything. So, I mean, that was just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we mentioned the trading paint only because it's exciting to watch. I mean, these guys are right on the edge. They're trying to take advantage of, every inch possible. So Great to see. Everybody really kept it together. I mean, we even in some of the times where we did see contact, drivers were obviously trying to give each other space.
Right.
So and really the big wild card in this one is exactly what's in the title, the keep and slip. The fact that they've got the slipstream set to strong really made this a much tighter, closer, and an exciting race than what we had before, and what honestly I was expecting. I was kind of thinking these guys would take it a little easier on this tighter track.
Yeah.
We did see more damage on this one, again conducive to the fact that the walls are a lot closer than they were at Interlagos, but I mean, really, really fun one to watch. And I mean, the race we have coming up in Division One, we will be taking a break here soon here. But this Division One race that we got coming up is going to be at the Daytona Road Course. So you want to talk about slipstream? Papa's excited for this one. Papa
I
really is looking
am.
forward to seeing the Daytona Road Course. Papa, why is Daytona such a favorite track of yours?
I don't know. I mean, my love for Daytona probably started obviously with NASCAR.
Sure.
It's just the start of the NASCAR season. It's their Super Bowl. So I've always been hyped for Daytona anyway, the Tri-Oval. But over the last 2, 3 years, I've really been getting into the road course, actually going to the Rolex at 24 hours at Daytona with T-Case and Turbo and Turtle Show and Arrow. It's become more of a family PHG thing get together there at Daytona. So it's now has its own personal meeting. So I love Daytona for multiple and many reasons.
Yep. And we're going to get to watch 14 high quality drivers
Yeah.
going around it. I expect this to be nothing short of amazing. I mean, Papa, I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
In this Group 3 machinery we have. Well, we're going to go over the details when we come back from break, so I don't want to give too much away. But it is going to be a fun one. But man, this last one at the Canadian track, you know, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, I think is how you do it. Um, so tight, so technical, so much different than what we saw at Interlagos for sure. That it really made for a totally different kind of race than what we had before. All right, so we got just a little bit of time before Division One starts up. I think we are going to take a quick break. Once again, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Stick around. We'll be back in just over 7 minutes where we will kick off our Division One race. We'll see you soon.
and we are back getting ready for our round two here of the Division One drivers. We're going to be in North America again with the same theory here for the race being keep in slip. Let's take a look at what our drivers are up against. Sal, you want to talk us through the track and vehicle combo?
Yeah, here we are, Division One, the elite drivers taking on the Daytona Road Course in a 60-minute endurance race following a 10-minute qualifier. They are in Group 3 machinery. Once again, we've got the American-made cars in the Chevrolet Corvette Group 3, the Dodge Viper SRT Group 3, and the Ford GT race car from 2018. These drivers looking to try to get as fast a times as possible for 60 minutes straight around the Daytona Road Course.
Thank you, Sal. And Papa, do you want to talk us through our drivers on the grid tonight?
Absolutely. All right, here we got Big Pace starting up front, Super S2K and Lukey. Sector 7 Titans with Wid and the True Serum. The Wild Cards with Wade and Moose. Ghosts have a representative with Super Supita. RPM Bandits has got Hired running for them. Team Gotifi, we have Shahir, and I always have a problem with his name, Lebjuk. Okay. Then we have Infinite Octane and Friends. Looks like we've got all four teammates, Alicos, Bacon Dance, Azriel, and we have a substitution for Flobster. We're actually going to be running Snipes R1 will be taking his place tonight on the team. So we got a full four-car team. That should be interesting to watch those guys too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Papa. You know, you have to imagine that the four-car team might have a little bit of an advantage here
If they do
with
it right.
so many teammates. Yeah, you got to get it right, right?
Yep.
You know, we've said that before, and then you get out on track, and they just can't quite seem to get themselves
Right.
in a position to help any of the other teammates. So
Right.
that could play a factor here.
And some breaking news, I'm hearing from production that Flobster has made it into the lobby. So Flobster will be in this race instead of
Well
Snipes
done.
R1. So glad Flobster was able to figure out what was going on there.
Good.
Yeah, it's such a stacked grid that we have here. I mean, we say
Yeah.
that for Division Two. Division One
Yeah.
is absolutely no different. What do you guys expect to see here at Daytona? Obviously, we're all excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, clearly some really fast drivers. I mean, Big Pace has shown incredible pace both in the pre-qualifying and in round one. So clearly they are the team to beat. We got Sector 7's Wid in on this one, who we also know is crazy fast, along with the rest of the field. I mean, everybody in this
Yeah.
this field has some incredible pace, and especially around Daytona, where slipstream is key. That's really going to, I think, bunch the field up. I think some of those guys that would maybe lay back just a little bit are going to have a lot of opportunity to stay caught up, especially if they can work together. We mentioned how IORT has 4 teammates in this one. Plenty of opportunity to work with your teammates and try to regain any lost time on the field if you lose it. So I'm expecting to see a heck of a race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Papa, you know
Go ahead.
Daytona as well as anybody.
Yep.
You know, how much passing are we going to see through this next race?
With the strong slip, you're going to see a lot of passing. Maybe not so much, obviously, through the technical section and the infield, but we've got 2 long, sweeping straights that are just incredible opportunities to use that slipstream. Expect the Vipers again. Expect a lot of speed on those straights out of the Vipers, but with slip, vets can keep up pretty easy, and we all know that GT40 is quick too. So I think it's all going to come down to teamwork and strategies, pit strats. I don't see a lot of penalties. You're going to see probably more penalties in the bus stop would be my guess,
100%.
down that back stretch. But it's, again, it's just going to, the race is going to produce itself.
Okay. Oh, and we are getting a correction that apparently that the slipstream is set to weak at this track.
all
So
right.
not quite as strong as what we were seeing at CGV, but still stronger than real slipstream. So
Correct.
still great opportunities for passing. You know, Papa, I don't know. I'm really hoping we're going to see people working together, especially the teammates.
Mhm.
But I'd like to see more frenemies pop up as well, and see if some guys can, get caught up to the pack and stuff like that. We'll see
Yeah.
how it plays out. We certainly saw a lot more passing at CGV than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Maybe Division One's going to do the same thing, but we shall see as these cars are now out on the track going through their outlaps during this 10-minute qualifier. You can see just how much space these guys are given. Again, with slipstream being on in qualifying, it does pay to stay bunched up a little bit. Typically we want to see space given in qualifying, but with the slipstream on and with it being such a big impact here at Daytona, we may not see quite as much space as normal, but maybe some more bump drafting. The passing is just going to slow people down, as we see Wade pass Dark and Azrael. So what do I know? But here, as we've got AMS Super S2K, who I believe won last week from Team Big Pace, currently 4th in the Drivers' Championship, but 1st in the Team Championship, along with his teammate Lukey. Looking to see big things from them. Looks like they are slowing down and are going to try to just team up and get as much slipstream as possible from the entire rest of the field. So dropping back, relying on their skills to stay caught up to the rest of the field and maybe just bump draft their way past everybody to get the fastest time. We'll see how that ends up as we're on board with VIP Shahir, who is leading the qualifying effort. Shahir, part of Team Gotifi, is currently 20th in the driver's standings, with their team being 7th in the team championship. I believe somebody had said that Shahir was the self-appointed king of New Jersey. I don't know if that's true or not.
You
But,
see Shahir out here running on his own, and we all know Shahir is a fast driver, a very skilled driver, but it's going to be so hard to post a top time in qualifying out here on your own. When you look at this pack right here, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, I mean, these guys back here, they're going to be using each other's slipstream down these straights, and they're going to gain half a second on what Shahir is going to be able to run on his own.
What we watch here is the True Serum and Dark and Azrael were going side by side through the Western Horseshoe, but now that they get out onto the NASCAR banking, they are back to being in line and trying to get caught up to S. Ledgebrook, I think was how it was pronounced. Also part of Team Gotifi. Looks like he did not participate in round 1. So they're listed as 99th in the Drivers' Championship, but 7th in the Team Championship.
Yeah, my apologies for butchering that name.
Oh, I'm sure I got it wrong too. But the True Serum getting a heck of a run through the bus stop there.
Yeah, he did.
We're going to see if he goes around, or nope, they're going to do the bump draft, see if they can work together to get a good time out of this. But the Truth Serum, running for S7R Titans, I believe is Wid's teammate, is currently 11th in the Drivers' Championship and 4th in the team standings. Shahir's. Yep, 46.3 across the line. Wade with a 46.8. Looks like the Truth Serum had a 47.3, so looking to still get some gains as we get through the rest of this qualifying. S7R's Wid back in P13 with a 2 minutes, so certainly was backed off on that one. Wid currently 8th in the Drivers' Championship. Team was 4th in the Team Championship. Love that avatar.
Right.
You too.
So stylish.
There's
So here
Lobster.
we go, Lobster. Lobster back in P6. Made it in the last minute, in the closing seconds to make this qualifier. Glad to have him here. Running inside Wid's slipstream. Not a bad place to be.
No.
Let Wid tow you along.
Ooh, what do we got going here?
Oh, looks like Big Pace and Wid, we're going to back off and let them around to try to get some extra slipstream, throw this lap away. Still got 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in this qualifier. Swabster quits back to the pits. Teammate Alikos out there currently P4 overall with a 145.742.
Love their team livery. Love how
Yes.
bright colored those cars are.
Got
Yeah,
that,
that graffiti look.
yeah,
Yeah.
the graffiti look. That's what I was going to say. Alikos running for Infinite Octane and Friends, part 1. Currently running 21st in the
Right.
Drivers' Championship and 3rd in the Team Championship. His teammate Alikos. Right there behind him, looks like they are heading into the pits. Supido doing the same thing, running for Team Ghosts, 15th in the Drivers' Championship and 5th in the Team Championship. Gonna get some fresh rubber on. You can see those racing softs are worn down quite a bit. As here we got Big Pace leading a group of 4 drivers around to the start-finish line. I would imagine they are probably going to come in and get off of that worn rubber as well. It's like everybody in the pits. Get some fresh rubber and get your fastest timeout down right at the end. Minute 45 is the time to beat. 45.3. VIP Shahir still out on the track. Oh, no, he did pit. Does have some fresh softs on.
Yep.
But fuel is down by about a quarter. But still running on his own. Working with anybody.
Yeah, he should. I mean, with the low fuel, Shahir should probably still grab a 45, probably by the time that qualifying's over. But I mean, you're also going to see people like Team AMS up there, Super S2K and Lukey. Expect them to drop probably into the 44s.
Yep, they were able to capture a 45.3 and a 45.4 respectively, and are currently at the top of the speed chart. But Bacon Dance here running for Infinite Octane and Friends, 10th in the Drivers' Championship and 3rd in the Team Championship. Running with the wipers on because he can.
I don't know if he's rooting for some rain or what.
If only they allowed rain at Daytona in this game. But you can see Bacon Dance and Alikos teamed up here. So there's a good strategy. Looking like they're trying to get as much speed as possible. They need to stay off that wall, though. But catching up to Bacon Dance, going to do some bump drafting here.
And they're on their out lap, so they're coming to the line quick.
Yep.
That's good.
And they will get one more hot lap after this one. They have a minute 56.
178 miles per hour at the line. That's all in the mail right there. That was good.
They go getting through turn 1. Got to avoid the invisible wall that's there in turn 1, heading into the International Horseshoe.
Oh, we got somebody off track up here.
Oh, P10 was at the Truth Serum. Had gone off in the International Horseshoe. I don't know if we're going to be able to see what happened there.
Oh, coming out of the pits. It was on his out lap.
On some cold tires.
Staying out of the way.
Trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Went a bit deep.
Yeah.
Went a little too deep. But definitely stayed out of the way.
Definitely.
So good job on that.
Yes, yes.
The Bacon Dance and Alikos still teamed up here. Looks like they are about a quarter second up on their personal best. See if Alikos can get close enough that they can do some bump drafting through the final sector. Still 0.2 of a second up. There you go, catching up just as they get to the bus stop. Definitely don't want to bump heading into the bus stop. Or the Le Mans chicane, as it's called. Yeah, good run through there.
Not bad. Good.
Should be able to get caught up and do some bumping. Yep, added a little bit of time just through the Le Mans chicane. And should be able to add on some more time here. Shahir did improve his time, has moved up to P8 to a 46.2. Here we go as they come to the line, doing 177 at the line. Ooh, Alikos lost some time there. But Alikos and Bacon Dance still sitting in P3 and P4 right behind Big Pace.
I think if Alikos would have actually used that slip and shot around his teammate. It would have been a little bit quicker overall than trying to bump draft him again, give him that bump coming through turn 4.
Gotcha. Here we are back on with the True Serum, who is almost 0.6 up on their personal best, which is currently at 146.2. So looking to get down into the 45s. Doesn't really have any drivers to work with. FAF Wade not too far back, but we'll need to catch up a bit in order for that slipstream to be at all helpful. This is the final lap of qualifying. So we may not see much for bump drafting on this final section.
I'm actually surprised how spread out everybody got.
Yeah, I am too, Pop. But
See, I saw Sector 7's Wid had a new personal best, but I wasn't able to see what the time was. The True Serum running through the Le Mans chicane.
Lost a little bit.
Lost a little bit. Still under half second, or just under half second up, but was 0.6 up. About half a lap ago. Again, has FAF Wade behind, probably is sniffing at that slipstream just a little bit, helping Wade out. But the True Serum going to improve, but just barely, lost a lot of time. Getting to the line. Something happened at the end here. Some cars going, oh yeah, somebody got all sorts of loose, headed to the start-finish line.
What the heck?
Bacon Dance lost it. I wonder if they were trying to work with Moose and just got into each other. Not quite sure what happened there, but
yeah, that was
thankfully it was the very end of qualifying.
different.
From Bacon Dance's perspective.
What?
Not sure if he had an equipment failure or was just trying to be cute at the line. Unsure. Look at that. He's got upshift on the back.
yeah, look at that.
Back wing there. Thanks for that Bacon Dance. We appreciate the advertising. As here we are broadcasting at Upshift Media Studios to bring you as professional as we can commentary for this qualifier and for this race. But AMS Super 2K and AMS Lukey as part of Big Pace currently leading the field after this qualifying effort. So definitely their strategy seemed to pay off as far as hanging back a bit in order to get a qualifying in with themselves together. So Papa, you want to take us through the official results of qualifying?
Sure. Like you said, you got Super S2K and Lukey gonna hold the front row, man, in their Vipers. And then right behind them, you have Bacon Dance and Alicos teammates running P3, P4. Super Supido in P5 in a higher place in P6. Sector 7's Wid over there in P7. Flobster with his late entry. Thank you for being here. Rounding out the top 8. VIP Shahir, again, running solo. I think that kind of cost him some time here. Running P9. Truth Serum in P10. P11, Lebuc. I don't know. I may never get that right, y'all. In P11, Moose in P12, FAF Wade, P13, and Darken Azrael in P14 in a full field of Vipers. Kind of
One make
what I
race.
expected.
Yeah, that's the surprise to me. I got to be honest. I was maybe expecting to see a Ford out there, maybe even a Chevy, but to see a full field of Vipers, that's pretty interesting.
Vipers have proven to be quite the race car here through Gran Turismo 7. They dominate this that top end. They're just really good.
Yeah, and let's take a look at our standings. We'll start off with the Drivers' Championship. I'll run you through those very quickly here. So we've got Rodrigo with Team Big Pace currently sitting in 1. Looky in P2 for Big Pace as well. Then you've got Get Busy, also Team Big Pace in P3. Super S2K, again, Big Pace in P4. Void for the RPM Bandits coming in P5. Then you've got Flopster for Infinite Octane and Friends in P6. Crawler for the RPM Bandits in P7. Wid for S7R Titans in P8. P9 is Bobajito for the Wild Cards, and P10 is JP Scale for Team Gotifi. Now let's take a look at the team championship. Sal, do you want to talk us through these?
Sure is. No surprise, we got Big Pace in P1 with 4 drivers all at the top of the driver standings with a commanding lead of 113 points. Definitely the team to beat so far after one round. In P2, we got RPM Bandits. P3, Infinite Octane and Friends. P4, the S7R Titans. P5, Ghosts. Team P6, Team Gotifi. And P7, the Wild Cards.
Yeah, a lot of interesting racing still to happen. One thing these guys are going to be up against here today is an 8 times tire wear rate, if I'm not mistaken. So, Papa, what do you think the best the strategy that these guys are going to need to do? Do you start on hards? Will we see people starting on the mediums? Is it based on where their starting position is? How do you approach this one?
For me personally, it's based on where my starting position is. If I'm up in the top 4, I'll start on the softer compound and try and run away a little bit. If you're back in the pack, you got to play the long game. Start on the hards and maybe minimize your pit stops. I assume we're going to see at least 2 pit stops throughout this race. So it's going to be a pit strat. And again, your strat's going to be dependent on where you're starting and how your race goes. You may lose your teammate early and have to, like Sal was saying, find your frenemy and try and work your way back up or through the field.
Yeah, really at Daytona, with it being such a slipstream heavy track, I'm not sure how much the tires are going to factor in as much. Racing hards might be the way to start. We saw even at such a technical track as CGV, a number of drivers running with the racing hards up front and able to outpace those in the racing mediums. For people like the big pace drivers, if they're able to do those racing hards and try to get this as a 1 or 2 stop instead of a 2 or 3 or even 4 stop on the mediums, that may be the way to go. Daytona has a relatively short pit stop. You kind of teleport from when you exit your pits till exiting the pit lane, but still that time in the pit can certainly cost a lot, especially at such a high speed track.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Papa. Now, I know you have worked as a crew chief in some past lives there. Do you use any of the power ups here?
Mm. I think if it were me and my team, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably wait for more of the technical tracks to save some of my power ups.
Yeah, I would have thought in
Man.
Division 2 at CGV, that would have been a good time to maybe jump to the front of the field. Here at Daytona, not quite so sure. And it looks like we don't have anybody using the power up to start at the front, as we have AMS Super 2K still sitting on the front row. They got a rolling start here. Teammates going to lead the pack to the line in P1 and P2. And the lights are out and away they go. Rocketing towards turn 1, gonna try to get through there nice and smooth without getting anybody bumped off and going wide. Here they head in, trying to avoid the invisible wall. Teammates in 1 and 2, teammates in P3 and 4, all trying to work together. Looks like everybody got through the first turn, nice and smooth. Line astern, as they say, and they say we see big pace all over each other already. Going to try to use that slipstream as much as possible. Field nice and tight. Here we are with Sector 7 Wid back in the mid-pack, checking to see what's going on. We can watch both what's going on in front and what's going on behind. As we see Supido goes really wide in the western horseshoe there, but able to hold on to his position, but allows a higher place to get right up on his bumper. You can see behind Sector 7 Widge, we got Flobster all over the back of him, followed not too far back by VIP Shahir, who's finally able to start using some of that slipstream here at Daytona. But there we go, a little bit of frenemy action there. Yeah, Slow-Mo.
It looks like they're taking this a little bit more calm than we on the first race. Beginning here, there and
Yep.
Pace guys
Yeah, we're having a hard time seeing you there or hearing you there, Slow-Mo. I think your mic's cutting out, but I think what you were trying to say is a lot less contact and argy-bargy going on in this race, which, you know, again, with the slipstream being set to weak instead of strong, probably plays a lot into that. But these guys also know that kind of working together, I think, is going to give them more of an advantage here than at the other tracks. But Bacon Dance not wanting to work together with Lukey, trying to get around, separate the teammates. Not a bad strategy there, although his teammate Alikos now is being left out behind. But Lukey getting underneath Bacon Dance as they get into turn 1, but now Bacon Dance getting underneath Super S2K. They're swapping positions left and right. And oh, we saw a little bit of a bump back there. Oh, who was that? Was that a higher place? I think got bumped
P8.
off in P6.
I think that was Super
Stupido. That's who it was. Got a bit of a bump from somebody else just coming out of turn 1. Here we go. We see him and Sector 7 Wid. A little bit of contact going in, but as they come out, oh, he's already wide, trying to get back out onto the track, and Wid is still there. Doesn't allow him to get back out on the track. Keeps it pointed in the right direction, but certainly had some dirty tires. Did not take any damage. That could have been a lot worse, but you know, we'll live to fight another day here. Currently sitting back in P14, but tucked right up with the rest of the drivers. As we check on back up with the front, we've still got AMS Lukey now in the lead with Super S2K back in third. They're going one, then the other. Defensive driving going on here. Bacon Dance now rockets up into first place, but Super 2K giving Lukey a bit of a bump as they go side by side into Le Mans chicane as they remain 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good driving.
Oof.
You know, it does look like our top 4 drivers here are all on the racing mediums, which could explain the little bit of a breakaway they have.
Here we go.
That's such a colorful shot right there, too.
Right. Well, it's like the drivers are keeping the teammates away from each other, but we can see back there in P5, Flobster also from IORT catching up. It could be a 3v2 battle if he can get caught up to these top 4. They would, you know, IORT would have a slight advantage.
Yep.
What was that, Papa?
Lobster's also on the racing mediums.
Yep. Shahir back here on the racing hards.
Yep. Got together with his teammate.
S. Lejbuk. I think that's how that's said. But yeah, tight racing back behind him. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all within a line. We're only on lap 3. We got the lone IORT driver back in Darkin Azrael in 11th. He's got 3 teammates up in the top 5. MMR Moose, which is part of team The Wild Cards, currently sitting 17th in the driver standings and 7th in the team championship, has his teammate S7R's The Truth Serum, just 2 spots behind him. Or no, I'm sorry, The Truth Serum is with Titans. I had that wrong. My apologies. As we check back in up front, it looks like Big Pace has sorted it out, and they are back in P1 and P2, followed by IORT's Bacon Dance and Alikos close behind. Hoping for rain.
Bacon Dance that wiper, doesn't he?
Great racing with these 4 drivers up front.
Man, and we are seeing they are not wanting to work together at all.
No.
Going for the pass at every chance they've got as they go into P1. Whoa! Oh, Lukey got into the wall there in P1. The invisible wall strikes. Oh, if we watch that again, we'll see AMS Lukey maybe going a little bit defensive and trying to get down to the inside and keep Bacon Dance to the outside. Goes just a little bit too tight. cuts it in and hits that tire barrier. Oh, that's big damage on
Major
the front
damage.
and big damage on the back. Also gets hit by Flobster as Flobster tries to navigate his way through turn 1. Oh,
Oh.
that is going to be a big hit for Big Pace. They were pretty solidly looking to be running in the top spots, but AMS Lukey now going to have a big hill to climb to try to stay caught up with all that damage on such a, slipstream heavy track. So we get this view from a higher place who has Alikos to the outside. Did Alikos get damaged too as we went through all that? He did. He also has front end damage. So IORT, Alikos, I presume Flobster probably got some damage from running into Lukey as Lukey was trying to recover.
Dance. Yeah.
Oof.
That was rough.
All right. Well, early in this race and a big shakeup. But with that said, there are still 53 minutes left. There is a lot of time to be made up. Well, that promotes Sector 7's Wid up to P5. Where did Wid start again? He was down in P6, P8?
Okay, so yeah, he was like 7 or 8, if I recall. Definitely mid-pack. Oh, you can tell who's got the damage.
Yeah, Flobster. I mean, Flobster's still up there near the front of the pack, but suffering big time as they get to the top end and pretty wide into the first turn, but they sorted out. Lukey back in P8, just trying to recover.
Yeah, Lukey's in all kinds of trouble. He's just gonna keep hemorrhaging time in spots, I think, here.
Oh, geez. Yep, now down to P10. He was in P1 and had been running in P2. Moose giving him plenty of space there. Yeah, AMS Lukey just really in a drive to survive here, trying to make it last until it's possible to get that first set of pit stops in. Try to keep up with the driver in front and stay in that slipstream to help out with some of that damage. But AMS is Super S2K. 5 seconds up.
Yeah, he kind of checked out.
He did. I mean, even without his teammate, he is now shot off into the lead, but a higher place, currently sitting in P2. Flobster there with the damage, still holding on to P3. He only has front end damage. He doesn't have any tire damage.
Somebody got a penalty there. Oh, Flobster.
Flobster with a 1 second pen. So Flobster does still have the slipstream from a higher place, but he's about to lose some spots here. A 1 second penalty on this front stretch is probably going to cost him quite a bit. And it looks like they're going to come in, Bacon Dance as well, get off those mediums, repair that damage. Alikos, Lukey, that's not a bad strategy. If you've got guys coming in, you might as well come in with them so you can still get that slipstream. Maybe work your way back up to the front of the pack.
That was probably a good call team-wise.
Oh, I really wasn't expecting much of any damage here at Daytona, but man, the invisible wall there in T1 strikes again.
PD.
Here we go, battle for P9 and P10. Oh! As Ledgebook gets very loose coming out of the International Horseshoe, is able to gather it up, but also has a half-second pen. Shahir and Wid going too wide through the Western Horseshoe. Wid holding on to the inside line. A little bit of a bump there getting onto the tri-oval portion of the track. There we go. Sector 7's Wid is still 1.6 seconds off of P2, but currently sitting in P3. After starting in P8, has kept it clean, avoided the nastiness that happened in the beginning. And by nastiness, I just mean the cars got damaged, not that anybody did anything egregious. That was a bad choice of word. I apologize. Oh. Azrael with a half-second pen. Gonna have the true serum behind him. Go ahead, Slow-Mo.
Just like you had said, the bus stop seems to be what's given them the most trouble so far.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
seem to be the trickiest part of this track and the easiest place to pick up a pen, because you're really trying to hold on to that speed. I mean, you've got the backstretch, and all the speed you've got there is, oh, DeTruthserm goes wide, fighting like crazy to try to get it back down to the racing line. He's going to lose a position there to FAF Wade. Got that car out into the marbles and lost the traction, wasn't able to quite pull it down. Wade able to take advantage of the situation. But we're 7 laps in, 11 and a half minutes into this hour-long race, and we could see those racing medium tires already about halfway worn.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about whether this was going to be a one-stop race. I think we're going to be talking about whether this is a 3 or 4-stop race at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That 8 times tire wear is serious, especially for these Group 3 cars. Here we go. We got a higher place up in P2, continuing to lose time to Super S2K. He doesn't really have anybody to work with to help him catch up.
Well, and like you said earlier, at Super S2K, he's running on the racing mediums. Higher place is on the racing hards. So for a little bit, you would expect Super S2K to kind of pull away, but there's going to become a point where the racing hards are going to be better than the racing mediums. So.
Well, in a higher place is, part of the Sector 7 team, along with Wid, who is right behind him. If Wid can get caught up, you would imagine those two drivers are going to work together.
Right.
And working together, even on the quote-unquote lesser tire, would certainly give them the ability to get caught up. VIP Shahir here could help the situation as well if he's going to bump draft with Wid and try to help them get caught up. I mean, I think everybody at this point knows that Big Pace is the team to beat. There might be that smell of blood in the water with the fact that Lukey took such a big hit early on.
Yeah.
Super S2K is up there running alone. If these drivers can team up, now might be the time where they could maybe try to run him down, but they've got to start working together. It looks like this VIP Shahir is willing to do that.
So, yeah,
Yep.
Exactly.
And Sector 7's Wid, he's gained about a tenth, maybe 2/10 on his teammate. Then DeTruthserm. I think DeTruthserm is his actual teammate
Right.
in this league, but a higher place is part of Sector 7 racing as well. So frenemies is probably more friends than enemies when it comes to this particular race. That's 2 friendships to 1 enemy. That's how that works out. Here's a math lesson for you.
I say, yeah, your math, and I don't know if I keep up with that.
But here we are, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all tightly bunched together, all giving each other some bump drafts. So this little pack, all trying to work together to get themselves up to the front. Good to see. I mean, we saw a lot of passing going on those first few laps, especially up at the front. 1st through 4th, nobody wanted to work with each other other than the teammates, passing constantly. But then we had that big hit in turn 1. And with the cars that took damage, a lot of those teammates now that were working together up front have gotten broken up. They're certainly susceptible to some of these other drivers. I mean, 5th, 6th, and 7th are all on different teams.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're all trying to work together, which is not a bad strategy. Oh, Super S2K got really backed up, is now within the clutches of a higher place. Not sure if he had a pen or an incident, but a higher place is now well within the slipstream.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a 5-second loss. Something happened there. I mean, those mediums could be given out.
That is true. I mean, the racing hards are now at halfway worn. Very much could have been a big slide. I mean, a big slide going through the Le Mans chicane is going to cost you all sorts of time.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I mean, not to mention a higher place on racing hards is currently purple. So he's running his fastest laps with halfway worn tires, but also is in the slipstream. So I'm certain that's helping out a bit. But being in that slipstream is pulling him away from his off-track teammate in Wid. Because now that gap has grown to 2 seconds. They go get through the Le Mans chicane using all the track that they can, but definitely staying well within that slipstream. Still a quarter of a second purple. Sector 7's Wid got a little bit better run through the chicane, but not enough to start closing, because you can see a higher place still spreading that out. We got to see, is he going to work with Super S2K? Looks like he is. But then we have Sector 7's Wid and VIP Shahir teamed up behind them, going 2 by 2. And higher place was not able to capture the fastest lap. Alico is still holding on to it, so something didn't go all that well for him coming out of the Le Mans chicane that cost him a lot of time, but he still got tucked up to Super S2K there. And again, we still see this battle back in 5th, 6th, 7th. Dark and Azrael's racing mediums are very, very worn.
Yeah.
He's not going to last much longer out here with tires like those, but goes purple in Sector 1.
I'd have to believe this would be his last lap on these tires.
I believe that to be true.
But
Yeah, I would imagine is about on that
before.
same path. His
Yeah.
tires looked pretty rough when we got a look at him earlier.
Higher place still sticking with Super S2K. Super S2K on the racing medium, so also has very worn tires, but we saw a higher place running on the racing hards in P2, sitting in a very good spot right now. Is going to be able to stay out longer than Super S2K is going to be able to.
Yeah, he'll get another 2, maybe 3 laps on those racing hards.
A higher place then running alone may give Wid and Shahir a chance to catch up, unless
Yeah.
a higher place ends up just going into pits to stay with Super S2K. As we come near the pit lane, let's see what happens. Higher place is going to stay out. Super S2K coming in. The first driver to pit that didn't have damage. And FAF Wade and Dark and Azrael still nose to tail here heading into turn 1. The True Serum has fallen back just a little bit. Dark and Azrael goes a little bit wide, giving FAF Wade a little bit of a run, but not quite able to make the most of it. Still just tucked inside his rear bumper a little bit. Dark and Azrael with a slightly defensive line going into the International Horseshoe and going to hold on to 4th place, at least for now. But we can see Dark and Azrael's tires also very low. Kind of surprised he did not go into the pits on that last lap. That tire may be completely dead by the time they get to the start-finish line. They might be dead by the time he gets to the Le Mans chicane. He goes very wide in the Western Horseshoe. Lost 1 spot to FAF Wade. Looks like he's going to possibly lose another spot to Dechursum, depending on how this car holds as he gets onto the high bank. Is able to hold on to it and keeps P5 for now, but Dechursum all over his bumper. And right now the tires don't matter, but he's coming up to that Le Mans chicane where the tires are going to matter. It's going to mean everything. We'll see if he can make it through here unscathed. It's going to be hard when trying to hold off another driver. Dechursum getting a run, goes around the outside. Dark and Azrael still going to challenge as he tries to hold on to the car. You see it wiggle a little bit, is able to keep it under control. No penalty, but is down 2.6 seconds on his personal best and almost no tires left. Lost 2 positions on that lap. I would imagine is going to come into the pits now. Looks like FAF Wade is headed to the pits as well. Both of them on similar fuel, 22 and 24%, should be able to be buddies as they come out of the pits. A higher place still holding on to P1. Sector 7 Wid holding station in P2, still 1.8 seconds back. They haven't quite been able to close that gap to get within that slipstream range in order to start working together. I don't know, Papa, what do you think? In a higher place, knowing that you have a friendly behind you, would you back off a little bit just to give them that slipstream? Or is this really everybody for themselves? They're technically on a different team. Would he just continue to run up there and try to keep those other 2 at bay?
I would say if I'm higher place, I keep running as hard as I can. Sector 7 Wid, I mean, we know he's fast, but he is on another team. And as much as it'd be nice to have him with you, I say keep him back there. The longer you can keep a different another team behind you, the better.
If he's got the pace to hold on to the position, that's not a bad strat.
Right.
Here we go. We're checking in with Supido, who was much further back in the field after getting caught up with Wid. Coming out of turn 1 earlier on in this race, has worked his way up to P6. Currently running on the racing hards. Definitely has a lot of wear on that right rear. Not going to be able to get many more laps out of this, but following S. Lejbuk very closely. Definitely within the slipstream range. Could still be hanging on to this one in order to maximize some of their speed. We're probably starting to think about that pit road here very soon. We have 38 minutes left, so we haven't quite hit the halfway point. I don't know, 8 minutes to go till we hit halfway. Do we think the racing hard tires can get to the halfway point?
I don't think so. You're talking 4 more laps. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, we're currently on lap 13. Those tires are 80, 90% worn. You're probably right. Sector 7's Wid and VIP Shahir still running P2, P3. They seem to be content with those positions for now. Again, with an hour-long endurance race. Long time to go. Plenty of time to battle. But a good time to just get those laps in. And we just saw that Lukey and Super S2K are now running one position apart. Could start working together. We also have Bacon Dance and Alicos and Flopster all together. So this was our positions 1 through 5 earlier, and are now positions 7 through 11. But we are going to see these teams likely working together as best they can. Looks like Big Pace does have enough of a gap on these IORT drivers to stay away from them. It's a matter of whether the IORT drivers can get together enough to be able to start to close that gap. Looks like Bacon Dance is running on the racing hards. FAF Wade back in P12 running on some fresh racing mediums. Looks like P1, 2, and 3 have all come in together. Higher place doing slightly better than Shahir on fuel. Wid doing 4% better than a higher place, and may be able to make up that 1 second gap with 4% of fuel to the good.
Do we know what the refuel rate was?
Yeah, the refuel rate is 3 liters a second.
Okay, so pretty standard.
Yep, so there's 1 1/4 seconds he could make up, and then they are going to be right alongside each other. But looky here. Looky is back in P1 after such a devastating accident early on. With that being said, he is currently running on racing mediums that are very worn.
Yeah.
So he is going to have to pit again long before his teammate.
Oh,
Super
just ran
Oh,
wide.
his teammate ran wide. Super S2K ran very wide.
Yeah, he did.
All 13 drivers still very close. S. Lejbuk just coming out, but still all 14 drivers still within less than a half a lap, a quarter lap of each other.
Half a minute, yeah.
And we're almost halfway through this race. So very tight field so far. We are bound to see some of this shake up here in the very near future. I think it was 4 drivers that had pit early on because of damage are going to have to make a second pit here shortly. It's all a matter of whether they can make it far enough that they could just do 1 more stop and make it till the end. If Lukey can make, he's going to have to make it another 10 minutes though to really. We only saw the hards make it not even 25 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he would have to go another 4 or 5 laps himself on his tires.
So they're probably looking at
gonna do that.
2 more stops.
Yeah.
Might be worth it to stay on the mediums. Oh, Wid has now caught up to the IORT crew. helping them along. In fact, Wid is ahead of a higher place. Higher place was running in P1 before that last round of pit stops. But Sector 7 Wid had jumped his Sector 7 teammate and is now harassing the IORT crew, or maybe helping them. It's hard to say.
And Sal, as you mentioned, it looked like Wid was doing a very good job managing his fuel in the earlier portion of the race. It gave him that advantage to come out of the pits in a really good spot.
Yep, absolutely. With some fresh racing mediums on. So he is probably also looking at 2 more stops before this is over with. Lobster continuing to go defensive, trying to hold Wid back and stay with his teammates, but that allows Wid to go around the outside and break off Lobster from the school of fish here with Bacon Dance and Alicos up ahead.
I think Wid, he'll only have to pit one more time. If he can make these mediums last, what? We know the hards will go 25 minutes, so he only needs 7 minutes, 3 laps on his mediums, which he should easily be able to do that. So I bet Wid's only going to do one more stop.
Whoa.
Wid.
Oh, Wid got around Alicos there. It looked like there was some contact. Alicos very far off. Looks like he had contact multiple times. Let's see if he gets back to the track before he gets reset. He's going to have to get above that double yellow line. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see that again as they approach the Le Mans chicane. Alicos giving Bacon Dance above. Oh, Sector 7 Wid late on the brakes. Get it into Alicos. Alicos coming across and then gets hit by his teammates. Trying to get back onto the racing line. And gets knocked off. It looks like Alicos did not take any damage in that, but dropped all the way down to P9. Thankfully has another teammate right behind him. There's the advantage of having 4 members of your team in the same race.
Right.
You can end up in a different part of the field and still have a teammate to work with.
Curious if Wid or Flobster got damage off of that. They hit him pretty good.
Yeah, Wid got into the back. See, AMS Lukey, still out there, but that front left tire is not going to last much longer.
So Lukey, he needs to be a block this lap. Let Super S2K build as much of that lead as he can.
Yep, Lukey was in first, so Super S2K has gotten around him. And yeah, now has, well, the problem is right now he's on the part of the track where those 2 cars behind are going to be able to use him as a tow.
Yeah.
And Bacon Dance and Wid appear to be working together.
And closing in on Super S2K.
Absolutely, they navigate the Le Mans chicane. Looks nice and clean that time around.
Beautiful work.
And yeah, they caught up to Lukey very easily. Lukey probably struggling mightily with those worn tires. I would imagine Lukey's going to come into the pits here. Going to have to be careful that they are not on him if he goes and starts to slow down. Here we go, Lukey peels off. And Super S2K back alone at the front of the field with Bacon Dance and Wid working together behind, and Flobster not too far off in P4, followed by a higher place and VIP Shahir, the top 6 drivers. This is still a very tight field.
Yeah.
With one driver kind of further back, but the whole rest of the field all bunched up. Lukey now going to be out on their own for a little while after having to do a second pit much earlier than the other drivers. There we are, Sector 7 Wid up in P2, 2.8 seconds off of Super S2K. Ooh, Bacon Dance getting mighty sideways. It's getting onto the high bank.
That's going to hurt their teamwork trying to catch Super S2K.
He still has the slipstream, but 0.6 back. It is not going to be as strong. Shahir, on the other hand, right up on Flobster. They're getting all sorts of slipstream. And they're catching up to a higher place very fast. go through the Le Mans chicane here. Nice and neat. Ooh, Flobster getting all sorts of squirrely. That's going to give Shahir the run and get around. Oh, Flobster trying to get down back to the racing line a little too soon. Got into the rear quarter of Shahir. Did not cause any sort of spin out. Is now tucked into his slipstream. Let's see if he's going to repay the favor that Shahir was giving him by giving him a push. It looks like he is not. He wants to get around. But Shahir is going to be able to hold him off heading into turn 1.
Yeah, Shahir had the slipstream from a higher place in front of him, so that was going to be a tough pass from Flobster.
Here we go. The battle for
four. To work with him.
And the battle for 4, 5, and 6 is on. All within slipstream of each other.
They're closing on Bacon Dance.
AMS Super S2K has lost a little bit of time. 2.3 seconds up from WID now. That was 2.8, now down to 2.2. So WID is starting to close the gap. WID on the racing mediums. About a third of the way burned down. He's currently 7/10 up on his personal best lap so far this race. We are a little bit past the halfway point. 27 minutes and 40 some odd seconds remaining. WID has gotten that gap to under 2 seconds.
Yeah, I have to assume Super S2Ks on racing cards. WID is he's closing big time through all the turns.
Yeah, he has lost Bacon Dance, so it no longer has his dance partner, but is closing that gap all by himself on Super S2K. Now down to 1.7 seconds. So gaining about half a second a lap here.
Cue the Jaws theme music.
We're not close enough to the end for that. But Bacon Dance now has fallen into the clutches of a higher place in Shahir. Whereas Flobster has lost that group.
And Shahir currently holding the fastest lap.
Yeah, Shahir's really seemed to be content with just sticking into the slipstream of the other drivers. Although I say that, now he's gone alongside Bacon Dance. As they get to the kink, allows Bacon Dance the spot. As they get into the Western Horseshoe, gets underneath Bacon Dance, may be able to get the pass done here. Looks like he is going to get it done cleanly.
Good pass.
I was going to see if he can catch up to a higher place. We'll see if Bacon Dance tries to work with him. In this last lap around, we saw that Bacon Dance did not seem to want to do that. With that being said, Flobster is in his rearview mirror and is his teammate. If he can let Flobster catch up, the two of them could most decidedly work together and run both these guys down. As we see there, Shahir is part of Team Gotify, currently 20th in the driver's standings, or Gotifi, tomato, tomato. Team Gotifi 7th in the team championship. Currently running in P4. Yeah, Bacon Dance has lost the stream, or the slipstream on Shahir, 1.6 seconds back. Looks like he may be trying to team up with his teammate in Flobster and pull him along. But now we see Sector 7's WID has gotten within a second of Super S2K. So that slipstream, he's been tracking him down without the slipstream. Now he has the slipstream to help him out.
We did see
just saw somebody dive into the pits.
Bacon Dance and Flobster, teammates.
Okay. So they'll be able to come out together. We saw FAF Wade. I think we saw DeTrueSerm and Dark and Azrael, yeah, battling it out. They were battling it out coming out of turn 1, battling it out again as they get through the International Horseshoe, still side by side. As they approach the kink here, nobody's given an inch. DeTrueSerm's going to have the advantage. Dark and Azrael has the inside line. DeTrueSerm going a bit defensive. There might have been just a little bit of bumper contact there. Dark and Azrael trying to get the run out of the corner. Gets it done, but just barely. DeTruserum right on his tail. DeTruserum late on the brakes, trying to go around the outside as they head onto the high banks. But Dark and Azrael able to get the power down and keep the position, but is now a sitting duck as they get on to the long straight. I understand that the kids these days say, I hear the saxophones getting louder.
Yeah, instead of the jaws. Yeah. Difference in decades right there, I guess.
Yeah. I had never heard that before. But DeTruserum staying all tucked in. Ooh, gets a little loose coming out of the Le Mans chicane there. That might have killed his chances of getting caught up, but long straightaway here. And there we have Sector 7 Wid definitely on the rear bumper of Super S2K. Super S2K probably going to run a defensive line here, seeing if he can burn up Wid's tires.
Right.
Wid's tires are, let's see, the front left is a little under 50% left.
The right rear.
And the right rear, absolutely.
Tire wear going to be an issue here.
But he is there, challenging for the position. Neither one has a teammate, so this is definitely a 1v1 race at this point. 23 minutes left to go in this hour-long endurance event. While we're watching this, I will remind the viewers, if you've been enjoying this, please remember to like and subscribe. If you're on the McNaughty Gaming channel, please click the link that we have pinned in the chat. That'll take you to our Upshift Media Studios channel. That is our primary method of broadcasting these league races. VIP League is what we have going on here. We are in round 2. Doing the Division 1 Thursday race. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Do occasionally have that lower ticker in the lower left. You will see a QR code pop up. If you wish to make a donation, help us continue to do these kinds of races, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, it would.
Sector 7 Wid looks like he lost a little bit of time there going through or getting onto the high bank and through the Le Mans chicane, but still most decidedly tucked under the bumper as we see a higher place and Shahir behind, not working together and battling it out. Wid trying to go around the outside going into turn 1, a higher place trying to get that inside line going into turn 1. Shahir able to hold on to it. Ooh, a higher place with a little bit of a wiggle coming out of there. Looks like Shahir's got some tire wear. Wid tucked right up to the back. Super S2K as they come out of the International Horseshoe. Wid's tires are continuing to wear down. It looks like we have less than 25% of that tire left with about 21 minutes to go. Let's see, it looks like he had pit back on lap 14. We are on lap 22 now. So 8 laps at 1:47. It's about 14 laps or 14 minutes. I don't know that he's going to be able to go on to another set of racing mediums. When he does, depending on how long he's able to stay out, he may have to go on to a set of racing hards to finish this race off in order to not have to pit again.
I'd be curious to see what Super S2K's tires look like.
Yeah, his tires and his fuel. Sector 7 Wid has about an 1/8. Super S2K has lower fuel and a little bit worse tires as well. Wid may be able to jump him in the pits by having more fuel, do the same thing he did to a higher place.
Right.
With Super S2K on the racing hards, well, I think he tried to fake him out going into the pits there.
Yeah.
But ended up not doing it. I mean, they're both probably going to have to come out on the same tire. If Wid doesn't have to fuel as much, Wid may have the lead. Oh, FAF Wade, Dark and Azrael into the pits, both very low on fuel, 1% and 2% respectively. Coming in to get off the mediums. VIP Shahir in a higher place, still running relatively close together. Sector 7 DeTruserum running on the racing mediums, also with tires that are screaming in agony, along with a low fuel warning. And S. Lejbuk, who was fallen quite a bit further behind, has now found himself up in P6, but also has very worn racing mediums and low on fuel as well.
Looks like we're set up for a bunch of pit stops here.
Yep. We got Dark and Azrael, Moose 21, and FAF Wade all in the pits. It's like Moose 21 has quite a bit more fuel that needs to get put in, so will not be coming out with those other two. But Alikos currently sitting in P13, comes out ahead of Moose, but behind Dark and Azrael was 3 seconds ahead. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th still very close together. 7th and 8th, of course, being IORT teammates. AMS Lukey there in P9 has not been able to battle his way all the way back to the front to team up with his teammate. Was there briefly while they were on different pit strategies, but it looks like P1 through 3 have all come into the pits. You can see Sector 7's WID has 3% better fuel, so if both drivers try to take on just enough fuel to finish, WID's going to have a 1 second advantage in the pits. But here we go, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, nose to tail, running through the Le Mans chicane, all neat and tidy.
Say it looks like we've got 1 through 6 in the pits right now.
Oh, I believe you are correct. So all these drivers are all so tightly bound together. We'll see if any of these guys can jump. Well, they're not gonna be able to jump the drivers in the pits. Looks like Sector 7 WID is out first. Super S2K in P2.
Yep. Second
1.6 seconds back. So WID again jumping another driver in the pits, and then a higher place than Shahir, I believe, swapped places as well. I think Shahir was in third when they entered the pits, didn't they? And here we've got 5 cars all together now. Those 4 that were driving, we added another to the mix.
Woo.
All tight together, not too far back. We have 2 more, and then 12th, 13th, and Lejbuk, Alikos working together, and Moose 21 bringing up the rear, but only 2.5 seconds back of P13. I mean, look how tight this is. We are almost 44 minutes into this race, and all 14 drivers are within quarter of a lap. Bacon Dance and Flobster both coming onto the high bank together. Not working together, though.
Yeah, missed
The True
opportunity.
Serum. Oh, there we go. Bacon Dance able to tuck on down, but that's going to bring the True Serum up with them. We'll see if the True Serum tries to work with them or tries to break them apart. Looks like he was trying to take the inside line. Is going to get ahead of Bacon Dance running through the Le Mans chicane.
Good
They all
move.
come out together. And these IORT guys just, with 4 drivers out there, they continue to be together. It's like an IORT party. It's an IORT party, just don't stop. Sector 7's WID still 1.3 seconds up. He was 1.6 when they got out of the pit. So Super S2K has closed that gap ever so slightly. 15 minutes left to go. And here we go, 5 cars into turn 1. Everybody
Three
racing
wide.
nice and tight. 2
Three
wide,
wide.
3 wide. They sort it all out.
Good Lord.
Wow.
I don't know how to call it. It's just so tight together, but Flobster leading this group of 5 cars. The True Serum continuing to keep the teammates separated. Followed by Lukey back in P8. Oh, True Serum goes really deep into the Western Horseshoe. That's going to get Bacon Dance the inside line coming out. If Flobster can pull out and give his teammate a little bit of a tow, can he get ahead of him before they get onto the high bank? It doesn't. 8 and 9, all so close together.
Yep. Here we go again.
Into the Le Mans chicane, nice and tidy through there. Man, I don't know about you guys, when I'm following somebody so close and having such limited visibility, getting through something just like the Le Mans chicane is difficult.
That's where it's a benefit if you use like the chase cam. When you're in bumper cam like most of us race, yeah, that's a brutal time right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shahir and a higher place just can't get away from each other as well. Oh, but this 5-car battle is still so tight. And there's 2 cars behind that aren't all that far back. If they could work together, they could catch up to these 5. As DeTrucerm trying to get for the pass done on Flobster. They are side by side. He is going to have the preferred line as they get through the kink here, but is going to be on the outside as they get into the Western Horseshoe. DeTrucerm, Flobster able to dive on the inside. They continue to go side by side, giving each other space. It's good to see Bacon Dance coming up behind, going to try to give his teammate a bump, but it's not going to be enough. DeTrucerm able to get the pass done. There's a bit of a bump getting onto the high bank there. Flobster not quite able to get underneath him, but Flobster now is hooked up with Bacon Dance. The 2 of them can work together to try to get around a higher place.
And yeah,
also got Lukey not very far behind, along with, I think that's Super Supido.
Yep.
And there we go. The IORT guy is going to try to get around. Flobster gets the pass done. They are still too wide going into the chicane. Bacon Dance able to make the move stick. Now DeTrucerm lost 2 positions and is now following the IORT drivers. So we check in with our leader. Sector 7 Wid still has a 0.6 of a second lead over Super S2K, which is not much. Super S2K has tracked him down. When they came out of the pits, he had a 1.6 second lead. So Super S2K has run him down over the last 4 minutes or so of this race, the last 2 laps.
Came out on the mediums. This is crazy.
S2K is on the mediums?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
I would assume, yeah.
They're both on mediums.
Wade came out on mediums too.
Right. Okay.
It would have made sense at the time they pitted, but
that's going to be tight to make those last to the end.
Yeah, it is.
They're going to be on very worn tires when we get to the end of this race. But as we watch this battle going on, again, Flobster and Bacon Dance trying to hold off the rest of the 3 cars in this 5-car hornet's nest. DeTrucerm stalking them viciously. Gets the inside line done on Bacon Dance. Going to see if he can try to break up the team again. Flobster, yep, moves to the outside, trying to give the slipstream to his teammate, but DeTrucerm able to separate them once again. Oh, DeTrucerm, I mean, he's out there all by himself, but he is really making it work, trying to make these IORT guys work together, or to keep them from working together.
It looks like Super Speedo got by Lukey, the G8.
Yep, and is tucked right in under Bacon Dance as well.
Ooh, we're close to the lead.
And Super S2K just set the fastest lap with the 1:45.786, so he is on the march. Really hunting down Wid at this point. Now that he's got that slipstream within 0.3 of a second, we only have 10 minutes left to go in this race. That is going to be about, what, 6 laps or so? It is shaping up to be a barn burner, as the sun has certainly come out, become nice and sunny. I believe we had clouds earlier on. Bacon Dance and Flobster side by side, got back around to DeTrucerm, but DeTrucerm not giving up the spot. They cut and weave their way through, heading into the next horseshoe. Once again, the IORT drivers going side by side. Not ideal when you've got a fast DeTrucerm right behind you, but it does allow you to basically block the entire racing surface. And there we go, DeTrucerm once again as the inside line heading onto the high bank. tucks in behind Flobster.
He's
Position
so
6 and
he's
7,
doing-
keep switching back and forth.
He's been doing so great coming onto the high-speed turns.
Yep. Oh boy. I mean, we got this incredible battle up in the front. It seems like Super S2K is kind of, you know, okay with just staying in P2 for now. Maybe playing the long game, knowing that if he can stay tucked underneath him as they come out of the Le Mans chicane on the final lap, that would be the time to make the pass and not to do it ahead. And I believe P3 and 4 have separated a little bit. Then after that, we've got our 5-car battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That is a battle that doesn't seem to stop. Flobster and Bacon Dance once again have been able to join forces. Tucked under each other really good. A little bit of, oh, and Super Supido got around DeTrueSerm as well. Something happened with DeTrueSerm that caused him to lose 2 positions in that exchange. And Lukey's still lingering back in P9. But Super Supido now able to stay tucked under the IORT drivers. You gotta wonder if he's now gonna be holding up DeTrueSerm from trying to get back up to battling with those teammates.
I see some worn tires. They've got about 3, maybe 4 more laps to go.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, these mediums. Oh, these last laps are going to be dicey. I mean, we haven't seen people get into the field has spread out a little bit now. We see a driver going through the Le Mans chicane while the last place driver is going through the Western Horseshoe. So we've gotten a little bit of a gap going on. But there may still be a couple pit stops left to go depending on how these tires wear. Oh, Super Supido closes right up on Bacon Dance, tries to avoid getting into the back of them under braking. DeTrueSerm staying tucked right in behind him. Bacon Dance and Flobster now seem to finally have gotten to the point where they are working together in tandem, not going side by side through some of these corners, trying to get away. But Super Supido and DeTrueSerm also working together to try to track them down.
Got you quick, yeah.
As they fan out going into turn 1. Once again, the IORT drivers coming out side by side.
Speedo went a little wide there.
DeTrueSerm got around Super Supido. Is now back up to battling with IORT. Trying to go around the outside of Bacon Dance. Bacon Dance trying to stay tucked up underneath Flobster. And here we have Darkin Azrael, and Lukey has lost a number of more spots and has front end damage.
And
front bumper
tires.
and front left tire. Oh, I wonder if he hit the wall again. But his tires are almost dead. He's going to have to pit anyway. Now, DeTrueSerm was able to, looks like knock Flobster out. I mean, I don't know if there was contact, but now is separated. Flobster had lost 2 more spots. Now DeTrueSerm, again, with such an incredible drive, getting onto the high banks, gets around Bacon Dance and is now leading this group of 4 cars. Bacon Dance tucked underneath. Super Supido not too far behind, but his teammate is now 2 cars back. Looks like he's going to look to the inside, trying to make DeTrueSerm think about it as they head into the Le Mans chicane. DeTrueSerm still holding him off as they go through the chicane nicely. Here we've got the replay of DeTrueSerm behind Bacon Dance as they go through the kink. Flobster was leading the group. Oh, Bacon Dance. Oh, the Bacon Dance got in the back of his teammate Flobster and bumped him out. Lost 2 spots. Or 3 spots in that exchange.
Yeah. Ouch.
But Bacon Dance back around DeTrueSerm. Oh, the battle that never quits. DeTrueSerm, though, getting the inside line, not able to make it stick. But Super Supido right there has been watching all this battling going on. And Super S2K gets around Wid and is now retaken the lead. 4 minutes left to go in this race. Is Super S2K going to be able to pull away? Or is now Wid going to be able to hold on to the back of him and get that last second slingshot? He's closing in on him again. 4 minutes left to go. We got about 3 laps. Big closing speed. Not going to go for the pass. Cleanly through the Le Mans chicane.
If I'm Wid, I'm right where I want to be.
Yep. And their tires still looked good.
Yeah,
I was surprised at how well their tires still look. But the True Serum back up in front. In P5, him and Bacon Dance just continue to go back and forth. Super Stupido and Flobster not far behind. All the tires, it looks like everybody's tires, they still got somewhere between a quarter and a third of their tires left. I think they're going to have enough tire at the end of this race that they're not going to be totally out of sorts. I mean, certainly they're feeling the wear. Oh, and Super Stupido into the pits.
Thank you.
Late into the race,
Lukey
has to dive in.
too.
I'm sorry, who was coming in?
Lukey, I bet you see him come in
Lukey.
too.
Yep. But here's our battle for the lead. 2.5 minutes to go.
If
Super S2K.
Let me say, if I'm Wid, I'm going to sit right here until we come off out of the final Le Mans chicane for the last time. So I get one more lap after this. So
I think so. If they're under a minute 46,
yeah,
that means that they will be on the last lap.
Yeah.
Which I believe they will be, because we're at 2 minutes to go now. We'll see if Wid stays patient and remains in P2. Looks like he's not pushing it. His tires also down to about 20-25%. What are Super S2K's tires looking like? Right about the same. So they are equal, or as close to equal as we can get.
If I'm Wid, I'm burning fuel and staying right on his bumper.
Yep. Minute 25 to go on the final lap. They go enter into turn 1. Again, Wid just trying to stay tucked underneath his bumper. Really just wants to make it through this infield section and all the way through the Le Mans chicane, hoping to get a great exit out of the Le Mans chicane. Super S2K going a bit wide, but Wid not falling for it. Doesn't go for the pass, wants to stay there. Mind games.
Yep, that's exactly what's going on.
But P3 and P4 appear to have come back together too. Looking up at the map, it appears they're battling. I don't know that we want to go off of this though. Super S2K does have a half-second lead as they get onto the corner, leading onto the high bank. Wid needing a good exit to stay caught up to him through the Le Mans chicane and to get that slingshot. Lost about 1/10 of a second, 6/10 back. But closing. Heading to the Le Mans chicane for the last time. After 60 minutes of racing, we have a half a second separating our leaders.
Don't lose too
Again,
much
if you guys have
Wid.
enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to the channels. But Wid trying to get the most epic of exits out of the Le Mans chicane.
Oh, he got it.
Does get a good exit. He is closing, and he is closing fast. 4/10. Super S2K trying to break the toe.
Can he get it done?
Oh, I don't know that he's got time.
His timing's there.
He's still got a quarter second to go. He's going to pull up alongside him as they come to the start-finish line, side by side.
Side by side. What?
Wid does take it by 42/1000ths of a second. A higher place to Shahir fighting for P3, P4. A higher place going to be able to win that battle.
Wow.
P5, the True Serum has been able to break away from Bacon Dance in P6. P7, Flobster.
It's Flobster, Azrael, and P8 for the teams.
But the True Serum going to finish it off in P5, P6. going to Bacon Dance, P7 to Flobster. FAF Wade up to P8 with Dark and Azrael and P9. Moose has fought his way up back up to P10, but fighting with Alikos for that 10th spot. As they go side by side to the line, Moose going to be able to take it home in P10. Alikos
Alikos ran out of
P11.
fuel there.
Oh, out of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he is on fumes and
him.
he's catching him. He's got the pass done.
Boom.
And then runs out. Oh,
no.
Misjudged it by 1 percentage point.
Wow.
Oh my God. Congratulations to Wid on an amazing finish. Gained 6 spots in order to take the victory here at Daytona in a hardly fought Division 1 race. And by hardly fought, I don't mean that they didn't fight. I mean, it was a crazy fight.
Hard fought
P1
race,
and P2. Good fought race for 3 and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
That was an epic finish.
I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, absolutely epic. I tell you what, let me take you guys through the results here. We have SR7 Wid coming in P1 as we saw side by side with Super S2K. A photo finish for that. Fantastic job up there at the front. Higher place coming in P3. You've got VIP Shahir as we saw in P4. S7R, the True Serum, was able to break free from Bacon Dance and Flobster to take that P5 position. Bacon Dance in the P6 spot. Flobster coming in with P7. Then you've got Wade, FAF Wade in P8. Dark and Azrael finishing in that P9 position as we saw Moose there with the P10. Alikos unfortunately running out just at the bitter end there to take a P11. Ledgebook in P12. Super Studio falling in 13. And P14 was AMS Lookie, who obviously had a rough race today. Started out very well, but just he struggled to keep up and really had some challenges. So unfortunate
for him. He did have the fastest lap though.
He did.
I wonder if he came out on softs after that late pit stop.
Had to have.
You would think that would make sense. I mean, just to do everything you can to try and get back up to the pack there. So absolute fantastic endurance race. You know, a lot of times you see those endurance races and the field can get split apart. While there was a little bit of room between some of the positions, boy, you saw these guys fight until the absolute last 1,000th of a second there. That was absolutely incredible. I believe we've got some folks here with us. I apologize. I didn't check to see who has made it in the chat here. We've got all 3, 1, 2, and 3. So, gentlemen, first of all, congratulations on those podium finishes. That was
crazy.
Just something for the ages there. My golly. Wid, let's start with you, buddy. Tell us a little bit about that last lap.
So it was just kind of trying to stay with Super S2K as much as I could. I had a feeling he still had some left in the tank, and he kind of showed it there. So I was just really struggling. I just had to make sure to get a good bus stop and then time my my push right so that I'd get across the line first. But you know, it was basically just whoever was behind on the last lap was probably gonna win, and I kind of jerked to the right, and he passed me a few laps earlier. He might have just kind of sort of let me have that instead of play the game. But you know, I'll take what I can get. This was like the one track where we were hoping to be competitive with the pace guys. So I'm glad it worked out, barring any tickets, which I'm sure might be submitted. We'll see.
It was perfect strat. You did well, Wid.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, quite the finish. I mean, watching you guys battle throughout the race. I mean, Wid, it took you a little while to get up to the front with Super S2K, but Super S2K, you were up at the front all day long. Certainly in the very beginning, you and Lukey seemed to, be battling with the IORT drivers to start with. And then the unfortunate incident in turn one that caused Lukey to go back. What was your confidence level for the rest of the race, knowing that you didn't have your teammate with you?
I still felt pretty okay not having Lukey there, just because I knew. I mean, the gap I initially had, which was like 5.5 seconds, was quite substantial, and I knew if I could just keep pulling in the infield, I could try to maybe hold those guys behind me off. And I was doing that up until I just made a terrible mistake into the second horseshoe, and then pretty much lost that whole advantage, which I believe just lost me the race. So a bit unfortunate there.
Is that where you lost it? We were kind of wondering where that 5 second gap went to, because they were suddenly right on your back bumper. So
Yeah, it was in that corner. I had turned in, and a bit of grass clipped I believe it was my left rear
mm,
tire, just got loose, and I tried holding on to it. Again, no damage. Again, luckily, like, we recovered it quite well, but again, just too much time was given up there, and the whole rest of the first stint, I had no help, no slipstream, couldn't save fuel in that way, couldn't maybe save tires in that way. So kind of the first stint, I was a sitting duck after that mistake. So I think had it not happened, obviously, it probably would have been a bit of a I think it would have been a win, because I wouldn't have been within slipstream range of Wid. But again, he did an amazing job. He qualified far back, thanks to me and Lukey. But I mean, he did an amazing job this race. So yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah, and
got me on that one.
Try
yeah,
playing the team game. The team game.
and I thought we had higher, but I don't see his name down there. Maybe I'm missing him. But man,
Oh,
He's
he's
still
in.
here. He's here.
oh, higher. Okay. Higher. Tell us a little bit about your battles there towards the end of the race. It looked like you were really set up in a good position, but what wasn't quite able to catch up with the two in front of you.
Yeah. Well, at first, when SDK made the mistake, I was like, okay, maybe I have something here and I can hold on to it. But then he pit a couple laps earlier than me, and then the undercut, I guess, seemed strong. So I was like, somewhere in there, I was like, okay, I'll hang out with S2K. Maybe I'll hang out with Wid. But neither of those guys wanted to hang out or stay around very long, so they jetted off, and I tried to make some alliance with Shahir, and he had some crazy pace tonight. Like, full credit to him. That was quite a drive. I was trying to hang on there, um, and that was like kind of the battle. I don't know if he pit for mediums, but I was struggling to keep up on the hards, and I got a little sigh of relief at the end there with that late penalty.
That's how you got the gap there. Yeah, because we saw you were battling quite a bit for a while, and then got a bit of separation, and then it came back together, and then separated before the start finish line. But I mean, congrats on reaching the podium. Uh, a question for all three of you. Knowing that this was going to be a big race, and knowing that teamwork was going to be involved quite a bit. Just how much practice did you guys put in throughout the week in order to prepare for this race, and to make sure that all the teammates were kind of in lockstep with what your strats were going to be?
Mm, Say like maybe an hour and a half for myself, just running some laps, basically
Well,
hot
Hire didn't
lapping,
have any
and
teammates in the race, right?
yeah, I was solo this time, so.
Yeah, for me,
So
So
yeah,
you win.
honestly, I'm not gonna say I forgot about the race, but I was not aware of the time yet. So I got like maybe like 45 in, and I'm happy I didn't do too bad, but maybe if I got like an extra, I don't know, half hour in, I wouldn't have made that mistake in the grass. So it would have been a little bit wiser to do that. But anyways, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of like talked about our strategy and sort of thought through different scenarios, but it kind of just, all flew by the wayside. Nothing worked out. So, you know, it went all right for me. I feel bad for Truth because he just got mired in the train back there.
Yeah.
Um, but it is what and then our qualifying, Truth and I tried to do to push each other, but then I just messed up immediately on my first flyer, so that didn't work out. So it was messed up from the get-go.
Also, just to say, it's a testament to how variable this race could have been. Like, we did the practice race a couple nights ago, and it just ended up so different than what tonight did. So it's like one thing to have a strategy and for it to work, but changing conditions all the time. Like, this is a really variable race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to higher players for being able to finish on the podium without any teammates to work with. But
Right.
even those that did, the teammates that did have someone to work with, I'm honestly surprised. I thought at Daytona, with a little bit of extra space, that strategies could maybe be a little easier to execute. But we saw an awful lot of jumbling going around, and kudos to DeTruserum for being able to battle with two IORT teammates. They went back and forth so many times over the course of like a dozen laps. Very entertaining to watch, but very entertaining watching what you guys did up front too. Congrats to Wid on the win. Supa, finishing in second, but oh so close to getting the win there as well and higher. I mean, finishing with on the podium without a teammate. I mean, excellent.
Yes. Well done, you guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, great drive by everybody tonight. You guys put on one heck of a show for us. My goodness, I mean, I about crawled out of my seat, but well, I wasn't really sitting down when you guys finished. So we were jumping up and down. That was so much fun to watch. Congratulations, guys. We're gonna let you get out and get your celebratory activities in action. Thank you so much for such a great race tonight.
Thanks for having us.
For sure.
Happy to make a
Good
fun
job,
of it.
guys. We need to figure out how to do a virtual champagne spray.
That's right.
Right. That would be cool.
So our next event is going to be on Saturday. Make sure to join us for that. Back in North America with the same strategy being keeping the slip. That is the theme for the weekend. So watch for that on Saturday.
Yeah, and this is where we'll get, all the final times for all the teams that didn't race tonight. Get the other two teams or three team members within the respective divisions and get those times totaled up. Find out where everybody actually finished, and so definitely got to keep a lookout on the website and all that stuff so you can keep up to date.
Yeah, speaking of the website, make sure and check out motorsportleagues.com to get all the race details. You can see every single race. They've already got them all out there for you to check out. You can see what these drivers are going to be up against from week to week. So make sure to check out Motorsport League's Fantasy to see how well the Slow Mo's team is doing. I've got two guys taking first and second tonight, so that's looking pretty good for us. We'll see how the Saturday guys fare for us. Sal, I think your team has done fairly well tonight as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe my top two guys are Kelso and Wid, so it's been a good day.
Yeah, that is awesome. Wow, wow. I'm still a little bit in awe. I got to be honest. I mean, I knew it was going to be a close finish. We knew it was going to come down like that. And Papa, you called it really, really early on. You said, if I'm with, this is exactly where I want to be. And
Yep.
man, that worked out absolutely to a T for him.
It was perfect. Perfect positioning. He got a great run on the last lap coming out of the bus stop there at the back. And it was perfect. Perfect timing. He couldn't have planned that any better if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, less than a
Yeah.
100th of a second gap between the two. I mean, that's
42
about as epic.
thousandths.
Yeah, 42. I think it was 42 when we saw it live. It said 45 on the results screen, but tomato, it was an amazingly close finish.
Right.
And then we saw what, 2, 3 other drag races that happened behind them on the way to the finish as well. I mean, round one was not a fluke. Round two has turned out to be just as exciting as round one was. I would
Yes.
imagine on Saturday we are going to see more of the same, some epic racing. I mean, the close knit stuff we have at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and with the familiarity that the drivers have at Daytona Road Course. That one's used all the time in the game, and we certainly saw that. I mean, we were what, 3/4 of the way through this hour-long endurance, and everybody was still packed together. I mean, it
Yeah.
was still anybody's race. I mean, we saw Wid and Super S2K at the front throughout most of the race, but I mean, those two get into each other, and there were 5, 6, 7 other drivers all ready to jump up into first,
Yep.
not too far behind. So,
Yep.
as much as we saw them up front, it was certainly a lot going on. And even the drivers finishing near the back certainly had a great race. I mean, Lukey ended up finishing last, but was running up in 1-2 prior to that turn one incident. So great race to watch. I mean, all around Division One and Division Two. I
Great
don't
night.
know that it could have gotten much better than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, great time to give a shout out to the guys. What an incredible league they have put together here for their inaugural run, the VIP GT World Championship. My goodness. Gosh, Sal, what are we missing here?
I mean, just the normal stuff. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on the McNaughty Gaming channel, please click on the link that's pinned in the chat to send you over to the Upshift Media Studios channel. That's where we are going to live going forward, where we broadcast these league races, both for the VIP GT World Championship, along with future leagues that we'll be broadcasting as well. So please remember to like and subscribe and come back. I'll repeat it again. We've got this QR code down in the corner if you guys want to support us and encourage, what we're doing here so we can continue to bring this live commentary, reactions to the races going on. If the spirit moves you, please consider donating. We would appreciate that as well.
Shout
As
out to
far as I
Turbo
go,
for his
again,
donation tonight.
oh yeah, we did get a $20 donation from Turbo. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate you, sir. But yeah, for me, I mean, this was an amazing night of racing. I couldn't have asked for any better. I'm exhausted. Uh, you know, Thank you for being part of this. Thank you to VIP for putting this on because they have put on
Yeah,
one heck of a league. I mean, right out of the gate, I think they've learned from a number of the other great leagues that we've seen in the past and are really putting on a banger here. The racing's been incredible. All the drivers out there, really bringing their A game. It's been so fun to watch. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
yeah, absolutely. I get to come back Saturday and watch it all again. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Lucky
while I
you.
may not be in the booth, we will be watching. So we are looking forward to these Saturday races. My goodness, I'm still at a loss for words. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if there's really much left to say. I think we are good for the week. I mean, again, thanks to all the drivers. I think if we're ready, we could probably sign this one out. So, remember to come back on Saturday. Don't forget, you can find us at Upshift Media Studios on YouTube. But until then, take it easy, everybody. We're out of here.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.